We are on. Welcome to Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast, episode number 201.
Wow.
We made it.
We did it.
Yeah,
And
wow.
we said when we came back, we're gonna try to switch it up from Skype, which we've been on since the beginning, and everybody's like, "Man, you guys are old," because nobody uses Skypes for podcasts anymore. It sounds like anyway. So they're like, "You haven't even graduated to Zoom." I mean, there's things built into YouTube that we could be just doing this live, and we wouldn't have to do the separate recording. We can go live, but we don't. I mean, I guess we could do that. We could just record live and then I could just export the audio, edit the audio version. But
But wait a
hey,
minute.
we take things slow here. Slow.
True. Yeah, I can't handle too much. It was already a fiasco this morning, and I'm freaking. I have so much anxiety now that all of a sudden I'm freaking flipping out at. I mean, I was bad before, and now with this new
Flipping out of
job,
what?
now
Oh,
I'm just saying I'm flipping out instantly. Like I go from 0 to 100 way quicker now, and I shouldn't be because I've been doing so good mentally since January. Like January 1st, I've been wonderfully freaking zen, metaphysically freaking wonderful in the head.
you've been
And
Bush? Everything's
and
Zen?
ever since, yeah, correct. I
I don't know why
don't
that popped up.
think
Yeah.
so. No, that's good. So I've been so good. I've been such in a great mental state, a great attitude about life, wonderful. And everything with this new job now has caused me to react old school the way I used to, and giving myself anxiety. And I'm trapped in my brain, and I have like freaking 500 things coming at me at once, and it's turned my brain to mush, and it's messing me up. So now it's spilled over, and I didn't realize it till just now, but when we were trying to do Zoom and we had issues at first, into my
Eh,
personal life too. I got so mad, and then I went over here and I picked something off the floor. I had two gaming systems on my floor, and I had a PlayStation, I had a Sega Genesis, I had an Atari, and
a
they were on the
Genesis.
floor in front of my
Yeah.
TV. And I was picking up, and there was all kinds of wires, and I'm trying to get them up and off the floor in case, heaven forbid, there's ever a flood. I just don't want to
Oh,
have my stuff on the floor anyway. It
oh, I got
belongs
a
on the
story for that
shelves.
right
Right?
after.
Oh boy, we got lots of stories, I'm sure. So now it's a storytellers episode. So, so I put up, and the wires are getting together, and I'm cursing every saint in heaven, and cursing my life, and this and that. And I'm
Every
like,
saint in heaven. Fuck you, St. Patrick.
especially him. So
Yeah.
so now I'm flipping right out, and I don't even know why I started talking about that. Again, see, my brain is mush. My brain is mush. I can't even freaking. We're here
You
now.
have you ever heard that Jeff Burr piece where he's like the wife is like, Why are you like this? Why are you like 0 to 100?" He's like, "First off, I idle at 77." Like, I'm at 77 constant. I'm doing no justice as a joke because I'm not a comedian, but ultimately, it's also his material. But it's absolutely, if you can find it on YouTube, it's out there because it rolls up on Reels or anything else now. That these like short clips that is like attention deficit to the umpth degree now. Like you're just scrolling through videos now, and you're doing. I'm
Well,
doing it too. Like it was TikTok, now it's Reels and YouTube Shorts and everything else, and it's just like
word.
instant gratification. Like we can't watch more than 20 to 30 seconds before we have to flip to something else.
It's crazy, and I wanna start doing things like that, but that's another thing. But I'll say this. Let me say this about my thing, and what I was saying in 0 to 100. I only do when I'm by myself. Like, I don't do it in front of anybody else. So, like, I flipped out down here, motherfucking this and this. I haven't done it in front of my family. I don't really curse that way in front of my daughter anyway. But the thing is, I I haven't really flipped out at all in a very long time in front of anybody. The thing is, I am flipping out when I know nobody else is around. It's like that's when I'm letting it out. Because I feel like I can. It's just me. So if I want to motherfuck my life, I'm gonna do it when I'm by myself. But I don't want to be that kind of cat either. I want to be cool and chill because I've been so good. I've been so good. So I have to do something where I gotta realign my brain
You gotta
and
get
go
off
back to the
Facebook is
way.
what you gotta do again. And I don't mean that. I'm not trying to kick you off
Oh
of it,
no, I
but
don't
you
give
don't
a
need
shit.
that.
No, but you're right. Well, the thing about Facebook is no matter what it's a never. It's almost like um you got weeds or something right on your lawn. And no matter what you
Ugh,
do, you put the weeder on there and you think you got it. That's the equivalent of me unfollowing people on Facebook and thinking, oh, okay,
it
I'm
does
all right
work.
now. Then all of a sudden, but
Yeah,
listen, I've had the same friends on Facebook since I got the new account 5 years ago now, or whatever, how long it's been. They've always been there, and obviously they haven't been as vocal because I would have already done unfollowed them years ago. You know what I mean? During election time or this or that or whatever. But now it's like weeds. I think I got them all, and I think I'm good. And all of a sudden, more pop up,
it's
and they're
true.
going off about this and that. And I put up a post, and nobody responds, and I'm glad. An hour it sat there, and nobody said shit, and I ended up deleting it. But it was basically like, get some new fucking material. I'm tired of hearing about Trump. I'm tired of hearing about drag queens. I'm tired of
I
hearing
hear
about
you.
fucking guns. I'm tired of hearing about this. I'm tired of hearing
Bud Light,
about fucking
Bud
that.
Light's irking you now too.
And now the Bud Light thing. So it's just like, okay, now get some new material. And I put up a Public Enemy thing. That's what I did. This is Public Enemy. This is their message. Boom. I believe that. Boom. Fuck everything. And not fuck everything. Just like, get some
I
new
get it
fucking
though.
material.
But if you do follow things or unfollow things, the algorithm should kick in. Again, like weeds, they might pop up
Right.
because it's worked for me. One of those videos that I'm flipping through, it's dog and cat videos
Oh,
and black
buddy.
girls twerking. Oh wait, no,
Thank
that's
you.
you.
Dude.
That's you.
I can't believe you said that because literally, I was gonna say when you said talk about
I just
algorithm and videos, I'm gonna log into my other account and show you when I scroll down to reels. The fact that we've had no dialogue about this whatsoever. Correct? Have I
no,
ever
you
said that I
mentioned no, you
scroll?
did mention it. You said
Oh,
that Irene got mad at you because I guess
oh,
she saw and she doesn't care that you did it, but I guess it's public or you
right.
realized
Which
it went public or something like that.
how is it public? I don't know, but
I
anyway,
yeah.
right, right. See now the reels won't pop up when you actually want to see a fucking reel.
Yeah.
I've gone all the way down to this
I
thing.
go,
I
where
rolled in.
where the where the hot chick reels? I'm getting
Now I'm
like,
looking for them.
I got a lot of comics, and you know what? There's a
Nice.
lot of people that we don't know the names of that are making a name for themselves on whether it be Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Fucking talented. Like they got me laughing. I'm following them now. A few of these comics are fantastic. Like it's crowd work. I guess that's the go-to algorithm for comedians. So it's like when they're riffing on the crowd and whatever, which I love. And some people do it better than others, and then other parts are routines.
Right.
But it's great. It's a great way to see some people that would not normally come to maybe to Canada or up to Canada. They're American comics or whatever, but you get like a little quick snippets of their sets. It's great.
You know what? I have seen a couple, but it's usually been something I've already seen. So it's been a Chappelle thing, or it's this, or it's something
We
older. So I have seen
yeah.
some comedian. I haven't seen any new, so I haven't clicked on 'em. There, I found my reels. There you go. See, there's some reels. So
Yeah.
we got this girl. We got this girl. We got a
Real
couple more over
stupid.
here.
I'm sorry.
There's all these pretty,
An oldie but
you
a
know,
goodie.
African American females doing things. Some of it's comedy too, but they're always dressed
Doing
a certain
things.
way. Yeah, dancing and this and that,
Yeah.
and quoting from some other thing, but it's like another recording. It's someone else's voice recording, but they're lip
Oh.
syncing. But that seems to be a hot thing that they
Oh
do.
my
And
god.
then
Or you
some of
got
them
that
is
guy
just
that laughs, that
dancing.
laughing sound. Does that
Haven't seen that.
You see, it just oh my god, I almost fainted from doing that. It's like the
Wow, I
blood
don't
just,
even.
like, left my head.
Damn, I don't know what that is. I want to try to do reels. I really want us to get something out there where we can put our stuff out there
Well,
or
we
something.
can. It's like me doing a little snippet of the show and putting it on there, like, that's what I did those little
Yeah,
preview
more work for
things.
you. I
Like,
don't
well,
want to
then
give you more work to
exactly.
do.
And I'm
Who
also
has
doing
time?
I'm actually doing videos for my work now. Because they told me what
Oh,
they're spending. We do these segments, and of course, when it's a corporation, you get milked because they know that corporations typically have got money. So when they're doing a video, no one's and again, everybody's charging what they think they're worth, and this, that, and the other thing. And maybe I'm the idiot here because I'm not charging them. I work for the company, so it was like I'm doing it as part of my job, but I'm already getting paid to do my job. That's how I look at it, because they weren't going to. Otherwise, I would have had to do these on Saturday, and they want to do them during the week. No one else is working beyond, right? Like, if I could
Yeah,
charge them, I would love to charge them and do it off the, clock, but because we're doing it on the
yeah.
clock, I just say the way I get paid is because I'm getting paid by the company, and I love doing it, so why not? As long as you're okay with it, then so be it. So we do these testimonial videos, and so I just recorded the first one last week, and I'm editing it right now too. The point of this was not
Wow.
to gloat about that, but
No,
it's to
it's
say
cool
now
though.
I'm doing more of these things. I'm like, and they, of course, want it on a timeline, yet that's the problem is I've still gotta do my job.
I was gonna ask
This is
you,
just yeah.
because so wait a minute, they've added to your workload
Well, no,
and
I
they've
added to my
and
workload. I volunteered this, but my thought
ooh,
was like, "Look, instead of on a Monday, I go out and do what I need to do, we could shoot the video, and then I'll just edit it, and then we'll go from there." I mean, I simplify it. They know it's not that simple, but they were getting quotes for, like, from 5,000 for a segment to 20 something thousand a segment. And I'm like, I
wow.
can buy the equipment for probably 2.5,
Hmm,
2,500, everything we need
right.
to sort of
Yeah.
start. I mean, you could go way more. You could always spend more money,
Certainly.
like whatever.
Sure.
But I said we could do. I could do it on my phone, and we don't even have to spend anything, and we can shoot tomorrow. She's like, well, we got. We'll give you a bit of a use your corporate card, spend like keep it in that 2,500 range. I think it was 2,700 when everything was done. I bought a camera, tripod, lights, everything. The good thing it is, it helps budget for when we need to do stuff for what we need. And I've already tested it out. So I've got these lights that are battery operated, so we could be out in the middle of nowhere. We don't necessarily have to
Wow.
worry about power, and they last, an hour or two. But you could get more batteries, and the batteries are not super expensive to keep it going.
Sure.
It's rechargeable, so then you can also just keep them charging on a separate generator or whatever. Anyway, the point of the
Wow.
story is they allowed me to do it. I labeled everything that we needed or what I thought we need. I bought it all through Amazon or Henry's, which is a camera place. Got all the equipment. We shot it and did it. So I'm telling her like it will pay off for the first video. First video, you're already in the green comparatively, and you own equipment as opposed to just paying somebody else to do it. So I said every video we do thereafter is in the green. So you know, if they ever want to throw me a bone, great, I'll take it. I'm not going to say no, but I'm doing this like instead of doing my day of work, I go in and I shoot, and then I just have to edit. And I pick my editing time
Wow.
like so I might stop my day a little early and edit from 3 to 5 or 4 to 5 or whatever like that. That's kind of what I've been. It's only been 1 week, so like we'll see how this plays out. But the cool thing is, it gets the creative juices flowing. I get to do something I like doing, even though it's not
Yes.
filming a horror movie, but it's still cool. You're interacting with people, you're filming, you get to learn some tricks of the trade. It gets me reacquainted with the equipment and shutter speed, ISO, and everything that I've long kind of forgotten or at least pushed away. So it's kind of cool. So
That's
I'm happy. I mean,
awesome.
it's we're not doing anything earth shattering, but it can be. So there's already two more shoots scheduled. So that's what's been happening from that standpoint. And like I said, we can get some decent stuff for 3 grand. 3 grand, under 3 grand, we could get um a lot of the things we need because I'm adding a lens, a couple more filters, maybe a few more lights. Like 3 grand might be the magical number. But like I said, you could easily, if you wanted a new computer to edit, if you needed, and then uh
Right.
all the plugins and whatever for the editings, it could add up real quick. So
Oh, sure.
the
Man, I
hiccups.
wanna buy a new computer myself, but they're too expensive, especially a Mac. Now that I'm in the Mac mode, because this is the
Yeah.
one I have, this is the one now that I'm in this, I'm like, it isn't just as easy as going to buy a new computer. Now you gotta spend whatever they plop down. I don't even wanna know because everything's so high now. I don't even wanna know what they want. I know what they want for one step at a time. I don't even wanna think about what they go
You
for
want
now, and I
laptop
haven't
still?
even
You wanna
pardon
keep a
me?
laptop? You like the idea of a laptop still, or do you
Yeah,
like?
this
Because for
little
instance
this whatever this
yeah.
thing is, this AirBook
Well,
or MacBook
yeah, they've
MacBook
got
Pro, it says.
I
Yeah.
think they still you could get, like, last year's model MacBook Air, maybe I'm quoting Canadian prices, maybe 11, 1,200. In the States, it might be 999, but then
Right. Oh,
About
man.
1,500 is roughly the price point. That's when a lot of PC owners go, "I can get my PC for, 5 or 700," but I have a PC for work. I fucking hate it. I hate the trackpad. I
Yeah.
hate using it. I hate using it. Again, I know we complain about some of the glitches we've had. I've had this computer now 7 years. It's coming up to 7 years, the one that we're using right now. The computer
Yeah,
that
oh,
we
sure.
used to when we first did the podcast and recorded is from 2007. That thing just it's still working. I just unplugged. It's right behind me. That's why I'm pointing this way for the
Right.
video watchers. It's right there. It
Point
still
at me.
works. It still works. The hard drive is good and everything like that. It's so antiquated. I can't update the iOS on it, so I can't run Skype on it anymore. I can't do Zoom. I've tried.
Oh,
I mean, you could do it if it's Zoom online, but that's the
don't get
only
me
problem
started.
with how it integrated. But I mean, again, everything is Windows does the same thing. Windows 7 is gone. People still use it, but no one's supporting
Mhm.
it anymore. So
Wow, man. That's crazy though. So that's why you gotta get a new one because it's not gonna work right with
yeah,
new.
but 2007, the thing is still working.
True.
I
I mean, that's a
I
long
it
time. Yeah.
it's so I thought of getting, like, you can find on Facebook Marketplace too, if you trust people, you look at the ratings maybe, and you think because a computer's weird, you wanna make sure you have that warranty, you're buying it from a reputable place, but sometimes you can
Mhm.
get used, and these people are upgrading because they just buyer's remorse, or they got something different, or it's not what they wanted,
Yeah.
or it's only 3 years old to them, still great working condition, and you can get it at at a great price.
Ooh,
So, there's
that's
that
cool.
option
Oh,
too, if you don't wanna shell out the big bucks. I mean, you can get the one that you need your own monitor for, the MacBook, the Mac Mini, I think it's called, and those ones they're pretty powerful computers, definitely more powerful than what we're
well,
probably both using now, and but you need a monitor, a keyboard, a mouse, like, you have to buy
oh,
everything out like, it's à la carte,
nah,
but
nah, nah.
those ones are like 7.99. It might even be cheaper in the
Well,
States.
I want to get one like this again, a MacBook Pro, and literally I don't do anything with it. I'm never on the computer unless I'm doing this. So in
Yeah,
doing this, there's a few other things that might come across my desk where I might have to do something here and there, or make copy something, or some
yeah,
little thing. But it's not like I'm on this computer every day. I'm not whatsoever. So it's like I can get another one and literally, nobody's gonna touch it but me. It's my computer. Get your
yeah.
filthy mitts off it. If no one ever touched this computer besides me to begin with, because I don't
Yeah,
do
Irene.
anything, right? Not even her,
Yeah.
the other one. So it's like
Get your
I've
phone
even taken everything off of it. It doesn't matter. It just keeps getting worse. And it's like I have
doesn't matter.
nothing on it. It's bare bones, man. And I want to get a bare bones and keep the damn thing that way. The only thing that's gonna be on it, well, I have the hard drive, but the iCloud, I kind of now that I'm in iCloud, but I hate to be so dependable for all the stuff that are in my iTunes.
Yeah.
I have things in this computer. I have some pictures in this computer, and I have some music in this very computer. So when I lose it, that's going to be a problem. So it's like I got to do something. I got to upload more to the cloud, which is fine. I just got to sit down and do it. That's one thing. And
Mhm.
then it's like I'm always going to add new music. There's always going to be things that are going to come up because iTunes plays around, and all of a sudden, there's an album that you had years ago that was there, and all of a sudden, they decided to take it off the friggin' thing. So now, because they took it off, even the one that you used to have that was on there that you uploaded isn't there
Yeah.
anymore. You have to go back into your computer, make a bunch of checks, do this, do that, and sometimes re-upload a freaking CD or whatever you did to get the music there in the first place. See, that's how I beat the system. That's the beauty of being a physical collector and someone who likes to stream. Now, I don't
Well
physically collect music anymore because
well,
all
neither
of it's
do I,
right, but
but
I still have my old CDs here, and anything that I wanna get.
nothing has a drive anymore. That's the problem. At least this computer that I keep pointing to still has a drive. So I have that Dawn of the Dead. Oh, I moved it. It's over on the thing over there. The Dawn of the Dead set that has the soundtrack in it. I forgot. I'm like, holy shit! If I'm not using my Blu-ray player, or I don't have a CD player, like who has a dedicated CD player anymore? I don't. So I
You're right.
I popped the CDs into there, and I copied because it still has that old iTunes thing where you can copy, like,
Right.
the tracks, so I
Upload.
just digitized it
Yeah,
for myself because I wanted it.
that's
Yeah,
it.
but where am I gonna pop them? So I put all the because it's I don't know if you know that
Oh,
bonus
see?
set had all those tracks that were like all the track music and everything, not just the Goblin soundtrack, but all like the
Oh,
all the music that they used throughout the movie.
I
Um,
didn't know. I thought it was
yeah,
just the Goblin soundtrack. There she is. Well, she can't come on camera, but
yeah,
Frankie's
yeah.
here. Hi, honey. I'm
Just a
gonna have you
reminder
come
to keep
down
her
later.
filthy hands off your computer. Sorry.
Keep your filthy mitts off this computer.
That's
It's a joke. Anyway, she doesn't mess with that anymore. But anyway, she's the one. But come down in a little bit because we're gonna be talking about the things we've watched, right? And we watched the whole Scream franchise. I want to get your take on the Scream movies. So when you get cleaned up,
Hi,
come back
friend.
down and everything else. You know, are we still going out? Yeah, don't worry. We're gonna go out after all this is done. IHOP, it is. But
4 p.m.
yeah, we're fine. Have a tiny, tiny breakfast, whatever. But go reacquaint yourself with each Scream movie. Because if I ask you one, two, three, you gotta know what they are, and then tell me what you think about them. Come up with a rating or something. I was gonna tell you last night and I forgot, but I we did it for your sake. So I want to know your takes on these movies, and you could do it right here. How's that? Something to look forward to, people. All right, because Francesca. Oh, we'll get to that after. Now, where
I think
were
we
we?
heard.
Oh, Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah,
Okay, so check this out. Something else. Speaking of Facebook Marketplace.
I'll go grab the set while we're talking.
Oh,
What am I
okay.
looking
Go
at?
ahead. I was going to show you what I bought on it. Look, now you see that shelf there?
Yeah, the one with the
You know,
movies on it?
with the movies on it? Yeah,
Yeah.
that. I just got that on Facebook Marketplace. I used to have see those little wire things behind that door there with the
Yeah,
Twilight
yeah,
Zone
yeah.
discs on the bottom. Okay, that's what I used to have. Now this thing over here, my big one, it's getting wobbly, so I'm getting worried that it's going to collapse
The
eventually or
wibbly
something's going to
wobbly
happen.
walk.
I should have
You're
known
Jamie.
better.
Yeah. Jamie,
That
the
sound.
hardware lover.
So I go so I go to Facebook Marketplace and I'm like, well, here's the thing, people. Anybody who does, collect as we do, you have to know that they're not making these things anymore. And you can't go into Best Buy or Walmart or anything, and you can't get freaking DVD shelf things anymore. You can order them special online, and you get
Yeah.
them and put them together, but
Pay him.
they're awful expensive now
Oh,
when you do
crazy.
try to get them right. So
Yeah.
these people keep this in mind. As many people are giving up
Whoa,
collecting,
whoa.
like
These
literally
people.
all the time. So I look on Facebook Marketplace and I find they posted this thing and they want $40 for that shelf. Now that shelf does hold one, two, three, four, I don't know, 200 movies. Either way, so they put it's $40. They put a picture. It looks good. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to pay $40. I offered them 25. They didn't take it. We agreed on 30. And then I go to the house and I get it. And I'm like, it was easy to carry. It was light. I brought it here. And then she tells me, she goes, listen, we're getting rid of our collection. She goes, and we have two more if you want two more. I go, yeah, because I go periodically I come on, I look on Marketplace and Craigslist,
Yeah.
etc.,
Same with me.
etc. Because people are getting rid of these things. And sadly, I'm sure in some cases, because they're a little bulky and they take up a little room, they're getting tossed to the curb. You know what I mean? So, but some people know, hey, let's look, let's cast a line and see if somebody bites on freaking Marketplace or Craigslist. So, sure
Yeah.
enough, she has that. So now I go on, I get them, and it's great. Now the other things over here are still standing, so it's okay. But I'm so happy with that thing. It looks so much better than those wire ones I have, which I'm going to keep for backup, which is fine. But I'm just excited. I really like the way it looks. It's sturdy and everything. And they have two more. So she took down her Marketplace ad. She goes, when you want the other two, let me know. And I said, okay, keep them there for now. Now I'm not going to go and spend $60 now. I'm not doing it. But I'm considering, bottom line is this. I'm not going to get into what I'm doing, but I'm just telling this is for the listeners that collect. That's where you want to look. Go on
Yeah.
Marketplace, go on Craigslist and see and search DVD. You know what I mean, or CD, and then you'll find if you're lucky, you'll find someone that has racks that are still in good condition. But because people are getting rid of their collections, because everybody's streaming crazy now, it's passe to a lot of people, and that's what it is. Meanwhile, I'm collecting more thanks to Parker again with the Hamilton books thing. Now I'm there like
Dave
a freaking
Parker. Yeah.
yeah, every freaking month there every few days there I am refreshing the new releases to see if any new arrives. Sure enough, yesterday Like I picked up the Arrow Creep Show 2 for freaking $10.
Yeah,
How do you
that's
like
great.
that, man? See what I'm saying? This is what a great thing to have. It's like all the complaining we do about when these new things come out and they're asking 30, $40 for these things, and we're like, that's crazy. Just wait. Now it's even more so because if they're not selling out right away, I mean, Creepshow 2 is a decent title that people did buy, but it's not it's not Dawn of the Dead. You know what I mean?
Uh,
So
there's no
you
Creepshow
may
3.
get
Did
one.
you see
Oh
that
God,
announcement? Oh
dude, can
my
you
god. I'm
believe
like,
what is?
why would you even want that in the catalog? I mean, I know
I'll
everybody
tell you
was
why.
joking about it.
Well,
Tell me.
because Scream Factory, this is a true test. It's we always say
Day
people
one
get
buy?
excited about turds, right? This is truly a turd. Truly, it's not something that like
But they know
something
they're
from the
this is why they
right.
know they're actually insulting horror fans here because they're like, "These fucking
It's a
assholes
test.
will buy fucking anything. So
Well,
let's
this is
give
the
them
test.
shit, and they're
Yeah,
gonna buy shit." I agree with you.
let's
I think
exploit.
this
Well,
is an
let's see what
insult to
happens.
us.
I do too, but it's a test market. They're putting it out there. They're going to see people.
Spookies
This
was
movie
test
does
number
not.
1, and you guys fucking failed miserably.
Well, Spookies is still from the '80s and it still had not had a release on Blue or anything like that. It didn't have
Yeah,
a disc release, so it's like
yeah.
okay. But now
Next
this
is The
movie
Forest,
here,
The Forest
right?
Special
Oh
Edition. Yeah.
God, right? But to them, it's different because they've never seen it and everything else. So this is something from the last like 15 years that you could get from Redbox for $1 and watch it
Yeah.
on DVD, and it's a known turd. I don't know a person that doesn't know that Creepshow 3 is not a turd.
Oh,
Okay,
fuck.
so with this knowledge that we have, Screen Factory is going to put this out. I fully expect. I'm going to have faith in the freaking in the crowd, and
No,
say,
better
okay,
you're a better
we're going to
person than
see
I.
this on Hamilton Books in a year for like $5. You're going to see it. There's going to be overstock.
You see it
No
on
one's
their
going to
site
want
for
this shit.
$5. Sorry for cutting you
Maybe
off.
might be on their site. We don't know. It's quite possible. And I
Oopsie.
think they put it out limited too. If they did that, they're really cocksuckers. Hold on. I want to know actually. I want to know
Yeah.
if that Scream Factory
Well, they
release
they
because
they probably limited to 50 copies because they know that that's even pushing it.
because I've been I don't want to say critical. I don't stand on the same soapbox that the 22 shots guys do about limited releases. But in this case, if this is true exploitation about
It
this, I'm gonna just type in like I'm gonna go on Facebook and I'm gonna type in Scream Factory. See what I'm sure I belong to the group, but okay, there it is. If this really does come out that way, then I really it's laughable and it's a trick to try to get them to buy. Okay, hold on. Lock the door, close the blinds, and get set for more thrills, chills, and spills with the third installment of Creepshow. Creepshow 3 comes to Blu-ray 627 and is a Shout Factory site exclusive, limited to 1,500 units.
oh my god,
So
1,500. 1,500
the
assholes out there.
right, right. Like, so now they're really trying to put it. This is what I'm saying. See, this is a test. Not only are they putting out a turd, okay, on Blue for the first time, but they are
Of the
also
Emergency
saying
Broadcast Corporation. Remember, this is a test of the emergency.
they're
Remember when you're
saying
a kid? You're like, "You're interrupting my fucking cartoons. I don't wanna hear room tone for the next 2 hours," or whatever it was. It was only like 30 seconds but that 30 or 60 seconds felt like a lifetime, and I'm sorry I'm going
well,
on tangents, but this is what the show
good,
is. Fuck
right?
that
Well,
emergency
this is a
broadcast.
hey tangent away. The thing is, it was also kind of scary too when they did that test.
Yeah,
Sometimes, yeah.
like DEFCON 4.
Well, it was a scary kind of noise. It was a serious in the middle of cartoons,
Yeah,
right? You are smacked with the harsh reality of life and that maybe you could
yeah.
be in danger sometime. This is the
Just like
last thing you're
Amber
thinking
Alerts now,
about.
right? When your phone's like,
Yeah,
it's the same equivalent. You're like, "Eh, what? Ohio?
mine
What do I
doesn't.
fucking care? Ohio."
Wow.
I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
right. I don't know.
Good luck, kid.
Bottom
That's horrible.
Mine doesn't make noise anymore. Maybe
Christ.
because my sound's always off on my phone when I get the Amber Alert. So you're
Yeah.
telling me when a text comes up for Amber Alert, it makes all kinds of crazy noise?
Oh, and people complain about it. I'm joking. I actually like, oh
Wow.
my god, like they're like, "Oh, this woke me up in the middle of the night." Like, what were they I'm like, "Dude, some fucking kids in jeopardy or possibly in
Right.
jeopardy." That's the thing about Amber, like they never know, right? But that's what they put them out because you got to be on the lookout.
Well,
And
if it
people
was
get
your
fucking
kid,
up in arms. Exactly.
right?
Assholes.
Come
But
on.
they're like, "I don't
Yeah,
have
they are
kids." I'm like,
asshole.
"Well,
Well,
you have a fucking smartphone, so unfortunately there's a trade-off, asslip."
well, you were once a kid. How's that, fucker? How about that? What if it was you when you were a kid? Then you wouldn't even be
Yeah.
here now to complain about it. What do you think of that? Because you grew up to be a
There's our
cynical
movie idea.
asshole.
Someone that wakes up complaining about Amber Alerts, and then he wakes up one day as a kid and gets kidnapped.
Speaking of movies, and back to that. See, now we're bouncing, and I don't care, and I'll go back to Creep Show. But
Yeah,
I
I
wanted to say
apologize.
this. No, it's great, dude. I love this. We could do this for fucking 2, 3 hours, and then listeners, I'm sure they'll
Yeah,
be fine with it.
stay
Now,
with us.
now yeah, they probably missed us a little bit. So check it
Yeah.
though. What about can we purchase um,
Yes.
when you used to make movies as a child, like I did all the time with the VCR, with the old camcorder
Yeah.
VCR, can you still get them? And if so, is it one of those things that I can find at the freaking Salvation Army for $10, or is it something I got to go on eBay and spend $1,000 because it's rare? What do you know
Possibly
about
both.
this?
Possibly I don't know anything
Okay,
about it, but I
okay,
just know from when I went and got my VCR that I went and spent $5 on it. Like I think well, that was now 6 years ago. It was before we moved here, so 7 years ago now. I bought it because I wanted a VCR and I hadn't had one for ages. So I'm like, I'm gonna go grab them. Now you run into this thing where even a VCR, people are trying to milk you for what it's worth and jack up this
ah,
huge price point on it. So I'm assuming it would be the same as those because you could use those as VCRs, but then you could also record
yes,
on them. Because I remember
those
my
big
buddy had
ones
one, and yeah. But so
all the
I'm
time.
sure you can get them, but unless you luck out and find one at a Salvation Army or Value Village or whatever like that, then you're probably going to be paying top dollar
Well,
or flea market. If you have a flea market, that
a
you can.
flea marketplace, Craigslist,
Yeah.
people that have extra stuff in their home and don't know
Well,
any
here
better,
while we're talking,
you wanna get rid of it.
I'll bring it up on the old internet. I don't know what
Who?
the hell I'm saying.
Okay, so
I don't know what happened there.
I don't even I don't know, man. You're mushing too. So, okay, check it. Okay, when we watch those VHS movies, are those filmed on VHS or are they putting filters in? In your professional opinion,
Wait, the which ones? Sorry? The
the
new movies, the
VHS
VHS?
franchise.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
all I think that's all filter.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
don't you
in my
think
professional opinion, I don't know. Like,
right,
I'm just spitballing here. Oh,
that's what I asked
they're
for.
pretty good ones here. No, these are mini DVA. Compact VHS, $60. That's compact, though. So when the little mini VHS, and then you had to stick it into a VHS
I
tape,
have that now, and
remember?
I
Yeah.
do it everything from Francesca's when she was a baby is only on one of those, and I don't have the plug for it, so I can't watch it anymore. So I gotta try to go out and buy the plug to get it to plug it in the TV and watch these videos of when she was a kid, which that's a whole other headache because I have to remove somebody from the equation in those videos. And that's
This
gonna be something maybe I'll have to piece together because I don't want her to have to see that. So, but I desperately want to see videos of Francesca's
well,
first year. You
this
know what
guy
I mean?
literally posted one for a buck with no more information. He's in Vaughan, about 30, 45 minutes away, and
Where is he?
it's
What on what though?
on
On what
Facebook
platform?
Marketplace.
It's
But
bullshit.
whenever they say a buck, I never believe
Right.
it. But then they don't
But
actually
you know
put the
why?
price in the description,
That's why, because
or it
they
could be
can't
said as
list it for
parts.
yeah, it's bullshit. Every time I see someone
That's
with a
what drives me
buck,
crazy. Yeah.
well, there's a reason for it. You have to be able to post. I forgot. The guy told me the one time. I gotta look. That's a cliffhanger. How's that? So, so
Ooh, look at that one.
okay.
An
Hear
old
me out.
vintage Minolta XL Sound Super 8 camera with extra mic, $75. Ooh, that's
Okay.
cool.
So check this. You can find because of my searches on Marketplace and
50
Craigslist,
yeah.
you can get blank videotapes. They're out there. So why not make a movie just like we would have when we were a kid and market that as a found footage film? There's no budget necessary for the fucking VHS tape and the VCR. Why do we,
Oh my
and why
god.
am I thinking of this spitballing with you now and people that have made it's the equivalent of shot on video, right? But it's like what I'm saying is,
Isn't that what Rebecca's done? I'm pretty sure those movies,
yeah, but their
that's what
marketing is real movies though. Their marketing is like, Shark in the Corn unless you're talking about some or what Carly's doing with the bathtub massacre or the shark man, whatever it is, bathtub shark attack, whatever it is. I
so
think
why
that's
don't
the
you mean we
gimmick,
should instead
but
of
but
saying
it's not
VHS, we
the
could call it
gimmick.
shot on video,
No, 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 no. No,
the movie?
I'm saying this. It's truly a found footage movie now. It's found footage from the 80s or the early 90s when somebody had a VHS. If you're making a movie now and you're shooting it on video, it's just for cheap reasons, but it's not the gimmick. You understand what I'm saying? The gimmick is, hey, this is found fucking VHS tape, just like WUTV was
But I
WUTV.
could be
Oh
wrong.
my
They
god.
could easily have said, "Fuck it, let's go," and they're using VHS. This one's $50, and it's good they just don't include the battery, but it's got a RC cable and everything else. So if you could somehow find a battery for it, flying erase heads, like it's a vintage RCA VHS camera in good condition. fifty
Okay, so there you
bucks.
go. So this
There
is
you
what
go.
I'm saying. Maybe we should hit the reset button again, go the found footage approach, and film a fucking VHS found footage movie. And there,
Yeah,
and the other idea that I had about what do you call it? About the serial killer from his point of view. That fucking and this is it, the VHS. This is the 80s or whatever the fuck it is. Honestly, it doesn't have to be the 80s.
I
Why
got a
can't
great.
somebody
You
have a
just
fucking VHS now like we have, and they decided to film it that way because it can't be traced
here's the
because
movie.
everything now.
It's taking your idea, but with the setup. So it's in present day.
Mhm.
A grandfather dies. They found his video collection in the house, and they're filming it to document it because they can't believe what they found. And it's all these tapes. And what you find out is he was a serial killer that documented all of his killings that took place in the 80s on VHS.
See, there
And
you
it's all
go.
just
It's
it's labeled just like I think they did in Flatliners where every tape name was a woman's name, but it'll be the same thing, woman or man, whatever it may be. It's just a name on the tape, and they take it, and you end up finding out that he ended up murdering like 50, 75 people.
see, here's what you're doing here. You're combining elements from Poughkeepsie tapes, from what do you call it? Paranormal Activity, some of the sequels, and butterfly kisses. When somebody gets somewhere and they find a box of videotapes, right? But
Yeah, I haven't seen
what do you
Butterfly
call it?
Kisses. Brandon, I think recommended that because that was one of his disturbing films, I believe. Correct?
Uh,
Am I wrong with that one?
I
I'm
don't
pretty
know.
sure that
I
was
don't
one of his
remember.
disturbing movies. But anyway,
I don't
next
know
time
if
he's
it's
on, we'll ask him, but
disturbing.
I'm pretty sure well, I for whatever reason, that name sticks out, we've talked about it on the show before.
Yeah, we have definitely talked about it on the show before. Yeah. Well, whatever. But something to think about now. When it just popped into my head now, talking about all this, I'm like, why don't you see that? How come when we see, because again, it was your professional opinion. We don't know what's fact and what's not. I just
Yeah,
asked you, someone with more knowledge than me about film stock and maybe being able to have a better eye for something like that. The VHS movies and the other movies. Okay, like what about WNUF? Which, by the way, earlier I said WUTV. And do you know what WUTV is? You might being in
the
Canada.
old Buffalo station, right?
Yeah, Channel
Yeah,
29.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it. See, I said
Yeah.
WUTV instead of WNUF, but either way,
So,
we
no,
could
but
even call it
that one
that.
was filmed
Wow.
back in the day where it still was those cameras that they used. So, I think that one is a little bit more legit because wasn't that filmed when did that come out? In the 90s, correct? Or
WNUF?
yeah.
That came out in
What was that?
2014,
What?
maybe?
That's when it was released?
Yeah.
Oh, then maybe that one and they could have used filters, but maybe they just had vintage cameras and they just went that route. I mean, I'm sure it's a combination of both
Yeah,
because
it was made in
it's available.
2013. Yep.
I have a feeling most of them though, that figured that it's just as easy now to add the filters. This is why whenever there's these movies, there's so many extra glitches in it, you're like,
But
"Nothing glitched that
financially,
much."
yeah, but financially, what I'm saying is, doesn't it cost more, and isn't it more work to do shit on a computer? Because then you gotta have a cast and a crew to fucking do shit like that, as opposed to just picking up the old camera and let's go film? Am I
Yeah.
out of my mind?
It's a trade-off. I mean, at the end of the day,
You
if
think?
you got someone well, I mean, if you already have an editor that can apply these like, it's literally just you literally drag it onto the video. Like, when I could go in right now, I've got all these VHS glitches and whatever. I can just drag it on top, and it makes it look like VHS. And then you can play around with the parameters of
Yeah, but then you
how
have to do that.
drastic.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
but
then you
now
still
you're
have to record everything, then somehow transfer that VHS footage and edit it because how else are you gonna get it into a to someone to watch? So there's a transfer
easily,
process that's a pain now.
easily. Here's the answer.
Easily.
'Cause I've done it. Because I've done it. You take the VHS over to those people that transfer VHS to DVD, which some people could even do from their house with the right software. That's
Yeah.
fine. And then you get that DVD and you have the I believe you have to create a file on a computer when you upload it anyway, so then you can edit through that file on your computer. I'm sure it's
True,
easier.
true, but I think it's a balancing act of it's almost as easy just for me to take my phone out right now, film, and then manipulate it. I'm not worrying about VHS, I'm not worrying about VHS tapes, I'm not worrying about
Yeah,
any of
but
that stuff.
you're missing something crucial to the story. If the story is about somebody recording something on VHS, you're gonna actually I would like to have it where you would see a shot of the guy carrying the camera on the mirror or this, and then when he's doing things, you could tell by
But
the
I think they
size of
have
the
done that.
camera
Yeah,
lens
exactly. And
that
I
it's a
think they've done that.
VHS.
Yeah. And because I think they have shown that they're using said camera, and then you're getting into a whole different realm. So, yeah, it can be done, and I'm pretty sure it has been done, but I don't think there's
Yeah,
any like, it's actually faster for me to just to take this, crop it into, like because that's the other thing that they don't do. They do it in widescreen. Well, VHS never filmed widescreen.
right. Of
It
course
filmed
not.
4:3, right? So
Yeah.
that was it. So if you want it really authentic, then you have to put the black bars on the side
Why
to
not?
make it look like 4:3 because that's what you'd be watching.
I think that's
Gotta
fine, and I
frame
think what you
accordingly.
do yeah, I think you could have that there, and you could even fix it if you wanted to. I mean, why not? They did it for the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Why not do it for authentic? Do you think it would put people off to have to watch something with bars on either side, or do you think it would add to the authenticity of it, and it would be a part of the gimmick and it's fun?
Well, again, I think the way the film like, if you're looking at the depending on the sensor or whatever, I think he used the full frame for that. I was reading on about it way long ago, and I'm confused now because sometimes they use matte boxes to give you, or they're using Panasonic like the Panavision where it's like anamorphic and it stretches it out even more. Like John Carpenter's a big
Yeah,
fan of that. That's like it's just the way that it's filmed, and
panoramic, right?
it ends up squishing it. So if you actually looked at the actual image on film, it has to fit on the film, so it's actually all squished up like that
And then
until
they're
they
stretched this way. They're
yeah, and
stretched
then they
fucking vertically now.
exactly, and then they've gotta make
Yeah.
sure it prints properly, which is what gives you that cropped look, on the actual image, but it's the proper dimension, and you don't see that when you're in the theater because I mean, the way it's presented, it projects it properly, but
Right.
that's why we had pan and scan way back when for VHS and everything. I'm getting off topic now, but ultimately,
No, but
it can be done, um, I don't know, like, the only benefit would be that you have someone carrying a camera if they're showing it within the movie shot itself, but I was ju my idea, I was blending it, I was making it take place in nowadays, and it's like a dead grandfather, and you find videotapes. It's almost kinda like Barbarian in a sense, but you never I don't do you ever find videotapes there, or you just see that video room that he used? I think you just see
oh,
the room with the
wow.
camera set up, but I actually don't know
Yeah.
if you see like a string of tapes. It would have been really creepy if in that room that he's like hiding out in, that you just see all these videotapes up there. But I'm going by
Maybe
memory now. Maybe you do. I'm
I don't know. If they're smart, they would have had a couple tapes here and there because they do actually play a tape at one point, right? But do they play a
Yeah,
tape or do they just all of a
I
sudden
don't know.
flash
I
forward
got
to
it.
the past
It's funny.
or
I just
flash back?
it's not like I hadn't watched that movie twice
Me
for
too.
the year, and I can't now. I'm drawing a blank, but
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
I'm thinking of that scene when it took place in the past, and the guy said, "We're moving out," and he goes, "Well, I'm staying here." No, that was a regular movie. That was not a fucking
yeah,
video at
that was
all.
just a flashback. Yeah, yeah,
Why
yeah.
would it be? Yeah, it was just a flashback. So I'm trying to think about, do we actually see anything on camera in that movie from the past? I don't think we do. I just think it's speculated. We just know that things were filmed, and that's as far as it went. So
So this
either
is
way, this is cool though. What you got, a
these are
box of
the
Slim Jims?
discs. No, this is so the movies are on the other disc. If
Ah,
I'm and this is the original soundtrack by Goblin, and then the Wolf Library compilation part 1 and part 2. And that's all that crazy music that you hear when they turn on, like, when turn everything on in the mall and whatnot.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so they gave you
Huh.
almost everything. I think it's been documented that it's not the full soundtrack, but I mean, I don't know who else how much more you would actually need. It's pretty cool, but because I was like, "Holy shit," I just realized I don't have a CD player, dedicated CD player. Everything you've got now is like, whether it be a 4K player that plays CDs or Blu-ray
Uh-huh.
that play it,
Right.
but that's it. So I popped it in my old computer, digitized all the files so that I can access them.
So let's see here. Like I have the Dawn of the Dead, and it has 17 tracks, right?
That's, I think, the
So,
original. Because well, now I turn this computer off or I would show you because it showed the tracks.
oh, dude, you can't even get these on iTunes. I just uploaded it myself, back to that conversation. I already
Yeah.
had it and I uploaded it. The only Dawn of the Dead you have on iTunes is the fucking remake. That's
Yeah,
funny because it's
sometimes if you
Tyler
go
Bates.
you could do Goblin, and then they would not have the whole Dawn of the Dead soundtrack, but you might be able to get certain tracks from them,
Yeah,
through that
right.
as well.
Yeah, that's so weird. Where the hell, Goblin Artist? Let's see what they have on iTunes. Okay. Oh, there's all kinds of stuff,
Goblin
recent
artists.
stuff. Zombie. Oh, that's the thing. ZOMBI. That's the trick. So let's see what's on there. Colonial. Oh, this is all in Italian. And this is okay. It's the same thing. 17 songs. This one is 12 songs, but it's all in Italian. So I don't know what the hell is what. La Caccia. You know what I mean? Oblio. Are those the same tracks? Yeah, they are. Okay, so yeah, you can only get those 17 as far as as I know.
Well,
17
this
tracks
is
on
that this
streaming.
is music that only the diehard fans would even want. Like, I really don't know. Am I gonna be driving in the car and listening to the Wolf compilation? I don't know, but it was cool that they included it. It's like they're trying to make it the definitive set, and,
Of course.
I will give them the props for doing it. Like I said, I bought this one, I got, like, these things that Second Sight or whatever that they put together, they're amazing sets, but if you don't buy them when they're released, the resale factor on eBay is fucking astronomical. It's
Right.
again, like anybody,
There's no
everybody's there to
way.
make a buck. They probably buy 2 or whatever, keep 1 for themselves if they're a true fan, and then they sell the other one to essentially pay for the one they got, like, and so they get it for free, and probably then still make
Right.
money. Like, I just got Drive. I didn't get the special edition of Drive, uh, the one with, Ryan, oh my god.
Gosling?
Yeah, and I
Oh,
love
what a
this movie,
guess.
love the movie, but the special edition that they did that has a booklet and some essays written, whatever, because it's sold out, is selling for like 170 to $300 online right now. Like, are you kidding me? But you could just get the
Forget
4K,
that.
which is what I want. I got the 4K
Right.
movie for like 35 bucks. So
And
great.
that's
So this
ultimately right. I'm gonna
well,
get the set. You could get the set with what do you call it? With multiple cuts on there, with the Argento cut and the other one in
eh,
that, not for
that's
that price.
well, you don't have to. So I've got that's the DVD version.
Not the DVD, I had
This
that,
is
but I'm saying
this is
on
the second
blue.
sight Blu-ray version, but the extended one, the bigger one, and I've got the 4K one upstairs from second sight. That's just the limited. It's not the limited edition. It's just the 4 disc one, which is the one you're talking about in
Yes.
4K. And they have this version, which is just without the booklets and without the Wolf soundtrack, which is just, the Blu-ray version of that. You can get that cheap too. You could buy the 4K version that doesn't have all the booklets and everything else for probably 50 bucks still, or in and around
That's what
there.
I want. That's what I
Yeah.
want, and that's what I was looking at, and eventually I'm going to, which is fine, which is fine. I'll
Well,
get there, but
and I got the second sight, the special edition, because I was smart and I saw that was coming out. I bought it like 2 months ago, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre one, and I guess it was just officially released 2 days ago. I thought I saw someone talking about it. It might have been Dave Parker, but he may have had the other one that came out, because there's 2 limited, like, there's 2 4K versions of Texas
I got the
Chainsaw.
4K right away.
Yeah,
I got it delivered here.
just like a couple, like, the last few weeks.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so mine's second sight, it was only available, I guess it only officially released 2 days ago, so I haven't received it yet. And that's
Right.
their boxed edition one. I figured why not? Um, when I was talking to it was Chris A.K. Scott, he said, "Oh, he just bought the other one because he liked the traditional art. He didn't like the second sight art." And I'm like, "No, I like the art. I thought they did a good job with that. I just like their their packaging. I think it looks so cool."
Yeah. Hey, I have enough
For some of it.
copies of all of it anyway. You know
That's
what I mean? So I have all
yeah,
the art. It doesn't matter. So I'll never
that's it. I've
part
got
with certain ones.
the DVD still. I've got the 4K scanned Blu-ray, the Steelbook. And now
Right. Yep.
when this one comes, I'll have the other one. So there's just
Well, that's it.
certain movies like I don't mind double or guess triple dipping. I mean, if it's been in
Certain.
DVD, I'm upgrading. If I haven't gotten a blue, then I'll upgrade again. And then some of them I got in blue, and I'm like, damn it, 4K. But I'm not getting everything in 4K, as we've talked on this show before.
No,
But when I actually looked at my top 100 list, if it was available in 4K, I almost have all of them. Almost have all of them.
that's
That
great. I should look
if
at
it was
mine.
available.
Wow.
The only ones I didn't have are either coming or they're not available yet, like Friday the 13th Part 2, we know it has a 4K scan, but doesn't have a 4K. And there's other ones that I'm totally comfortable with just having the Blu-ray, or they haven't released a 4K of it yet.
Well, they look great, some of them, and if they look great, then yes. But I'm gonna investigate. I'm gonna go on the websites and play around and see what people are saying about it, whether it's worth it. I can't just plunk the money down right away. I just can't do it. Sometimes I will, like a Texas Chainsaw. I can't even be for certain. I may have read a review before I made the purchase. I can't remember. There's certain things
Yeah,
that for older movies that's what I'm gonna do for a 4K. I wanna know. But then there's some titles I'll just do it. Not that many, but I mean, if it's a real classic, like in my top 100, something like that, and I think it's worth it for that, or it's from a certain director, or there's a certain actress in it, or something like that, I plan to own them all on blue at least, and some 4K when they do come. But I limit it to that. It isn't selective necessarily as far as what I'm gonna collect. A lot of it has to do with money. A lot of it is what the price is gonna be. But I'm
well,
doing pretty good here. I'm
it's
gonna
very
add,
true. It's
you
very true. I
know?
mean, like, I just quickly looked at my top 25, and I think I got 18, but the reason I don't have all Friday 13th Part 2, not available yet. Nightmare on Elm Street, the
Right,
original, not available yet.
right.
And
I'll get
then,
that.
well, Shaun of the Dead is available, but I'll have to look into it to see if it really made a big difference. I have the Blu-ray, I'm happy with it.
Right.
Night of the Creeps, I got the Blu-ray, not available in 4K. Reanimator,
Yeah.
not available yet. Oh, there's a couple more. I guess there's a little bit. And then Martyrs and Opera, both of them not available in 4K yet.
Yeah, everybody's waiting
So,
on that opera. I know that.
well,
I'm
even
getting my
Inferno,
you know,
Inferno, the
and our in
Blu-ray,
Inferno.
Inferno, the Blu-rays come down. Like I can find the Blu-ray. So you're talking about Hamilton Books. I also checked Blow It Out of Here is the an eBay site, and
Right.
they seem to get some imports, and sometimes they price them. Like I've gotten a lot of my Dario Argento limited editions and whatever from them, and I feel like it's always been in the $30 range, 32 bucks, $6 shipping. I always get them in a good decent time
Yeah,
frame, and so I've put a lot of trust into them, and they've always arrived damaged free, and like how you'd want them, obviously. So
yeah,
sometimes they're even better than what you're finding online or even from the site. I couldn't even believe it when you
I
do the
know.
math from the site. You're like, how could that even work? How did they even manage that? Again, Videodrome was one of them. I got it for like 40 bucks, shipping included. But like, the Arrow ones were at 79 or 80, 85 or something like
See,
that. It was crazy.
you gotta play the game. You gotta wait. You gotta look on Hamilton books. You gotta look on you gotta go to Blu-ray.com every day, and you gotta look and see what's been drastically cut. You gotta pay attention to the sales from the different companies. If you play it that way, it's fine. The day one
Yeah.
buy action, if you keep doing that, by the way, I looked at Creepshow 3 and pretty much,
Day 1
everybody's
buy?
just there's like no, there's like 500 some odd comments, and everybody's just shitting on it. But again, talk is cheap. They could say all they want here about how good luck giving it away and you should make 15 copies instead of 1,500,
Yeah, but the
blah,
you
blah,
guys are
blah. Okay,
completists. You need it if you're not a true horror fan unless you have that in your system. You guys are completists. I love
fuck
throwing that
that.
out there. So like, it's gonna eat it somewhere. You're like,
Right.
I need it in my collection.
That's the okay, yeah, now, okay, just like selective outrage, Chris Rock, are you selective
That was
completist?
great. That
This
was
is
a
good.
great, special, by the way. Not
Boy,
as good as his other
was it.
ones, but better than his last one, in my opinion. It was more consistently funny than his last one, which his last one wasn't bad. It just from a laugh ratio,
Well,
the
I like
newest
the
one was
topics.
better. Yeah,
I like the topical stuff on this. That's when I can watch it, when a comedian can go on and make a take, especially when they have a take that is trashing everything, aka
yeah.
South Park style, where you
Yeah.
could sit there and say, "Okay, I'm going to make fun of everybody. I'm not here to hate, but I'm going to tell you this: this side is messed up, and this side is messed up." I love more and more people are coming around to this line of thinking that I've had for so long now, and every time I see it, it just brings a smile to my face. I'm like, okay, some people are finally starting to wake up, and a lot of it is done in comedy. Like I
So wait,
watched that one. I
they're the
kind of
woke
watched.
ones? They're more woke than woke?
Well, see that's true wokeness. True wokeness is being woke enough to know that 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 you're awake.
Sorry.
It's, you know what I mean? You are awake because you can actually see things for what they
Oh,
are
wake up.
instead of agendas. But okay, selective outrage, selective collectors.
Yeah,
Pardon me, selective completist. All these guys always have this issue. Well, okay, I don't like Scream 3, but I'm a completist, so I have it. And that, okay, which is funny because that's me. That's the only Scream I don't have thus far. Okay, but
yeah.
okay, but and what's the other one too? I noticed
But
something the other day that
I
I
see it, but I
I,
fall
I
victim
left
to
out.
it too, Dave. Uh,
Oh, do you?
like,
See, I
I'm
will not.
the Friday the 13th. I mean,
Well, that's
uh,
different.
but
That's
again,
something that you set out and
yeah,
you love, like
yeah, I'm
me.
trying to, like, I mean, but then people could just easily, like, Brandon has called us crazy because we own the
Well,
same movie in the same format multiple times.
yeah, but that's our idea that we had. Hey, I want to go out
Yeah,
and collect and get a hold of the freaking North American presses and the different
yeah,
styles from the different companies, and it's fun because you can take time to do it. Even now, there's like two more freaking of the part 1 through 8 that have come out in different packaging from different companies. I'm like, well, not
yeah,
now. I will get it when the price drops, and I just keep my eye on it like anything else. A lot of Black Friday stuff, this and that. So I
yeah.
will get them. Same thing, but I'm not going to do anything stupid. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
I'm not going to go out of my way just because it's that, like, you see what I did? How lucky I
Oh,
got with that freaking that part 5 through 8 of the freaking the 4 pack that they still sell at Target.com, but if you go anywhere to get it, you'll pay twice the price. See shit
well,
like
it's
that. People don't even think to do it.
well, that I always tried to do it. You'd find some great deals when we were first starting out. Like, for instance, the ones that cover it there, right?
That right.
I started buying them when you to get the complete package. They're trying to sell it for 150 to 170 bucks. Either with shipping or plus shipping on top. I'm like, you got to be kidding me for the set. When all said and done, I've bought them. I've managed to get all of them now, or some of them are still on their way. Part two
Mhm.
and whatever. There's two that are. Sorry, man, I keep hitting my mic. It's not a show until I
Wow,
hit my mic. Uh,
this is true.
Two more are coming, and I think when all said and done, I ended up having to spend $60. That's still a lot, but it was for the whole set. But I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and I've never seen it that low. Even if you buy them individually, you might be able to get a one deal here, one deal there, but they will all add up with the and whatever. So it's probably $60 plus plus maybe a little bit of shipping, but nothing crazy. But to see it in a package, it's always been
Wow,
well over 100,
it's ridiculous.
closer to 2, for sure,
Yeah,
shipped and whatever. So I bit the bullet. I mean, I'm like, again, I figure because sometimes the laser discs are the craziest ones. Like, you're not gonna, you just have to realize you'll luck out if you find one for $50. If you find it cheaper than that,
I
good
never
for
see
you.
them. I
Uh,
never
I
see them.
go they're only on eBay or you'll have to go to a flea
I
market and
looked.
and hope that, and I look at eBay and they're usually 100 to $200.
Yeah, well,
So
they're
every
not
now
getting
and
that from
then I
me.
find them and I my goal right now is I think I've got like the first I got 1, 2, and 4 and 3 I've got coming, but
We're
I
talking
don't I
laser or CED?
laser. CDs I've got
Okay,
1 through 5. Those are the only
nice.
ones
I
made. 1 through 5
shit.
and then
I got
laser
everything but 2 and 5.
laser goes all the way up to part 9, but I'm gonna be selective
Jeez.
there. I'm gonna be selective there. I'm saying that for that one, my goal would be to aim to get the first 6 because 7, like, if I can find 7, 8, 9 at a good price, eventually I'll probably get them, and that's what I'm talking about, this completist bullshit. I make fun of it, but those are Creepshow 3. This is a different thing. Like, I'm saying, like, at some point when I'm not cramped in the space here, and I can maybe move into that room over there and have the wall space, these will all be presented like posters on a wall. I like it.
No,
So
that's great.
I've just
Sure.
gobbled up most of the space here, and I haven't been proactive enough to create my own shelving units or areas in the other. So
Keeps you
soon,
busy. Yeah, well, it
soon.
keeps you
I
busy.
like it. It's
It's a
fun.
collection. It takes
Yeah.
time. That's the fun of
Well,
it.
again, you could go balls out and pay top dollar, but that's crazy. The books are nuts. Like, you
No,
start looking at the books, they're
fuck the
crazy.
books. The books aren't even, yeah, whatever. If someone likes the books, more power to you. I'm not
Well,
interested in the books
I'm talking about the
personally.
original ones, not the offshoot ones that were created. Well,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not talking about the
You
ones that you're talking about per se.
okay.
I'm talking about the original tie-in ones by Simon Hawke or the Michael. Like, I've got,
Novelizations, you're
yeah,
saying.
I've got
Okay.
1, 2,
That's
3.
different.
I've got 1, 2, and 3, but not the Simon Hawke 3. And so Simon Hawke 3 is really expensive if you ever find it. And part 6 varies depending on the quality of it, if you can ever find it. Then there's a Freddy versus Jason tie-in one, which gets into a whole other thing,
Jeez.
which is a perfect segue. We were just
Oh,
talking about
yeah.
this.
Yep.
Thank you, Chris, aka Scott. So Chris, he texted me and said, "I just read Sackhead," and I'm
What a
like,
guy.
"Oh man, I've been meaning to get it." And he's like, "Oh, I'll send it to you." He goes, "I read it and I'm going to sell it. I'm selling it on eBay." He goes, "I'll just take it off of eBay and send it to you." I'm like, "What's your address?" I'm like, "No, you're not sending it to me." He's like, "No, come on, man." And he like, this is how he goes. You guys have provided so much entertainment that I'm going to send it to you. I'm like, this fucking guy. So thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. Very quick read. I got through it in, like, like 2 sessions. It was, like, really, really fast.
Wow.
I like the style of what he did here. So he incorporated that interview technique that gave a couple new takes based on the fact that we probably all diehards have read Crystal Lake Memories or watched the documentary. So I don't know have I learned anything per se in this book, but what I found interesting is how he did the novelization from the point of view of the character that he was going to be interacting with or
That was cool.
interviewing. And so you do get the same story because, well, if you know Friday 13th Part 2, of course you're going to get the same story, but you get it from different perspectives. So I thought his novelization components were actually really well done
Yeah, they
in
were. I
this.
agree with that.
I thought so. And Alex Edwards gets a shout out at the end.
Oh, see, I haven't got that far because check
Yeah.
it. I'm not done yet, but
Spoiler
Alex,
alert. Yeah.
speaking of, Alex sent a copy to me. So thank you again to Alex. See,
Yeah.
Alex was he's in that group with that guy and he's met him and everything. He was on, well, there's a a bare bones on the skeleton crew feed where he interviews him. And there's a whole
Yes.
like hour and a half discussion. Now
Yeah,
I
I heard
started,
about that.
I
Yeah,
was 10
okay.
minutes in and I stopped because I don't want spoilers. I'm got to finish the book. So
Oh,
now
okay,
I
sorry.
read
Yeah.
maybe about I probably read about 5 to 10 minutes a day on the shitter before I go to work. That's what I do. Where instead of worry, once upon a time. Well, it's the same thing I'm doing with the
I
book. Speaking of
I made
Chris,
a joke
aka
because you
Scott,
got Chris K. Scott. I said, "Yeah, I'm gonna use it for mud flaps." I can't wait to. tear a page out of this to use it to wipe my ass with. But no, it's a great book, and it's going into the collection. I'm not selling it on eBay, Chris. And then if
No,
I
I'm
did,
never
I'd give you
selling
the
it.
no,
Dude,
but I guess you
it's
just
going in
wanted to
my
read it.
Friday room.
Yeah, man,
Yeah,
well, it's
yeah, right.
behind this
It's
shit,
going on.
there's books.
Yep. It's on display in my Friday room, man. It's freaking for sure when I finish it. But I got to get that. I stopped. I was reading the Dazed and Confused one from Chris A.K.A. Scott. Now I had to, as soon as this one came, I couldn't. I had well, I could have waited, but I was a little
Oops.
excited. Actually, when I first saw, I'm gonna confess, and I even told this to Alex. When I first saw it being advertised, by the look of the cover and the stuff like that,
Yep,
I was like, ah, what are they gonna
not
tell me?
interested.
I said I wasn't
Exactly,
interested.
same.
Right? Yeah, I didn't like the font. I
It's
didn't
not a
like the
good cover.
picture.
I
No,
I will
it's
if
too
I have to
busy.
critique it,
There's
yeah,
right.
they needed a
I agree.
designer for the cover.
Agreed 100%. I don't know why it's burning. There's some other things going on there, but either way, so at first I'm like, ah, this is not going to be a good book. But again, there's the literal term. Don't judge a book by its cover. That's
Yeah.
literal. Now I don't care. People do say that, but you can judge a movie by its cover, and there are reasons why. But yeah, I've been, dude. I'll tell you this. I was considering starting a freaking spin-off show of this, but I never have time. Maybe a YouTube show where I go on because I'm doing. I look at my MB every day, and I look at new horror movies pop up, and as soon as I see them, I know shit. But just to freaking research it, I go on the B, I go here, and there, sure enough, okay, it's shit. I was right, and I can tell just by that, right? Because they have the covers on MB, they show it. So I'm like, what I really should do is get this, film it with this computer here,
That's your
right?
reel. There's your reel.
Show the cover, right? I'm saying maybe, but I mean, I want to put it out there and say, hey, I'm going to show you guys this and this and this. This is what to look for. This is what not to look for. In whatever, and this is what I believe in. I should really go into it and maybe put something out maybe once a month with new releases. I don't want to
But
badmouth.
Dave, that's what the reels are for. To be honest, reels are typically advertising, except if you're watching a dog video or whatever. And again, it's not just blatantly bullshit advertising like we're trying to
Right,
cash in, but you're giving your opinion because it's something you want to create. But you'd be like, hey, it's Dave from Exploding Heads podcast. I just want to talk about this. Look at this fucking ship reader movie cover or whatever like that. Like you're talking about, you can't judge a movie by its cover. Look at this. There's no thought. Whatever you're talking about, make sure to
right.
check us out on Exploding Heads movie. Check out the podcast, whatever, and you're done. YouTube,
I
whatever.
should. I
Boom.
should find a way. I really should. Maybe you're onto something where I can do it that way, and I can show the cover, and I can show
On
me
your
in the video
phone
at
is
the
even
same
better.
time. Well, it's hard to
It
do because how am I going to
it's
show me and the
meant
cover?
well, it's
Maybe I'll
but it's
do it.
showing you, it's no different. It's showing you because everybody watches videos. I hate it. I
I
I
know,
hate it. This is why I said we should do our
buddy.
feature video, like our whole movie like this. I wanted to
Yeah.
call a movie Vertical, and it was just gonna be this. And that was how the movie was
Uh,
shot because everybody's watching their fucking movies like that, and I'm this. If you're gonna even I'm not talking about this is not IMAX, but this is IMAX compared to fucking that. Sorry, visual jokes for the audio component of the show.
well, yeah. And
But
speaking of the audio component, the book is called Sackhead that he
yes,
held up before by Ron Gann. That is his name, right? Please tell me
yep.
I remembered his name.
Uh, well, it says H.G. Henning.
Oh yeah, why
Who's
did I say
Ron
Ron
Gann?
Gann? Who the hell was Ron Gann?
No,
Hold on.
Arthur R.G. Did I say H.G.?
I don't know what you said. I just didn't hear a Gann in
H.G.
there.
Wells.
So
No, R.G. Henning.
okay. So who's Ron Gann? I have to know because I'm losing my mind. I need to know. I think it's two N's. This thing that's in my head. Ron Gann. Who is
This
he?
as a follow-up, this book comes from a good place. He's obviously a fan. He loves this movie. He comments on how crazy people think he is for how much he loves this movie. And you can tell his love, and that's what matters. Like it's a fan. He doesn't shit on it. Like even we poke fun at it, but it all comes from love, in my opinion. Like that's the ultimate fan. What are you giggling about over there, Ron Gann?
The Ron Gann thing. I don't know where I got. I know it's got to mean something, but I look it up on
Ron,
IMDb.
what's
It's
his name?
nobody I've
Ron
seen
Gann.
anything in. Ron Gann, Gann. That's what's in my head. No, here's the funny thing. I know this guy because I'm in that group, the freaking the Pack and Act Lodge Facebook group. You know what I'm saying? the freaking Friday 2 Facebook group. That's where all this came about. It's even advertised on the back of the book.
Wait,
The Facebook group.
interview with Ron Gann, author of Sackhead. Oh,
Oh,
RG. RG.
oh, so his name is Ron Gann. RG. Wait a minute. RG? But he has a different last name. I'm
Ron,
confused more
no, it's
now.
RG Henning, Ron Gann Henning, I guess. Because he's
Okay,
got two names.
maybe I'm wait the fuck on. Hold on. I gotta go back to my Facebook again for the
It's
second
his
time
name's
on this
Ron Gann.
show.
It's an interview with Ron Gann, author of
Okay, let me go
Sackhead.
to Packanack Lodge
Holy
and
fuck.
see.
Well, that's the reason why
Okay.
RG
Oh
stands for
yeah,
Ron
Ron
Gann.
Gann. Look at see,
Well, I
he's
get it.
that's him. His Facebook ID is Ron Gann. See that,
Well, why would he put RG Henning? I guess it sounds
buddy?
cooler with the initials. You listen
Yeah,
to
I don't
RG
know.
Henning?
But see, I know. I didn't pull it out of my ass, that name Ron
Holy
Gann. I know the
shit.
guy from the fucking group. And see, I
Oh
know
my
I'm not
god.
losing my
I'm
mind.
also gonna talk about because I spent a lot of my time off, so I read the Sackhead book. I finally got through this. I got this like last year. I finally this was a great read. Slash of
Tell
the
him what it
Titans,
is.
great idea. Slash of the Titans about the making or the road to Freddy versus Jason, but it's wicked. He
Right.
reviews, gives a synopsis of pretty much all the scripts or treatments that were made for this movie and how they were rejected and and essentially the road to get to the movie we got. And it is very interesting. I actually, once I started getting into it, I couldn't stop reading it and was very interested in where it was going to go. And there's some really fucking bizarre takes on the subject matter. Like, you know, how we're talking about if you're going to remake it. I
Indeed.
don't think this was the time to do it, but there are people that took it literally. And there's one that like Jason was a real guy, normal looking guy wearing like handcuffs, and it's like there's like a courtroom drama opening. I kid you not, where he's
Wait, why
like
would
in
Jason be a
court
normal looking guy?
because essentially the movies were based off of him, and he's been caught, and so they've got this normal like that. This is the take. This one script, one version was taken where he
I'll
was a
listen. Okay.
normal looking guy, buff guy, arrested in court at a hearing for what he's done. And of course, I guess Freddy was going to be the mystical element. There's ones that followed like the kind of the New Nightmare route. Some of them started before New Nightmare came out, where it was a little bit more like the movies exist and within the realm, and then other ones did it that were in their worlds. Where eventually we went. A lot of it had the Fred Head cult. Whichever I heard the Fred Heads rubbed me the
Yeah.
wrong way. I was never into that, and I'm glad they never did it. There's new main characters that had nothing to do with the the process, and it really does make you appreciate the one that they went with. But I'm not saying that I wouldn't have been interested in seeing some of these other takes. I for sure that would have been really kind of cool, especially now in retrospect. The one they went with did have a script overhaul. I was actually maybe I was somehow somewhat aware of this, maybe based on Crystal Lake Memories and the documentary, but again, it wasn't forefront in my mind when I was reading this one. And they're talking about the rewrite was to shorten it because they thought it was going to be like a 2 hour movie and that nobody in their right mind would want a 2 hour Freddy versus Jason movie. Again, depending on how it was
Well,
paced, who knows, right? But at
why?
the time,
Nightmare
they
fucking New Nightmare was 2 hours.
yeah. So
Scream was two
again,
fucking hours.
they're just I guess they're just banking on a slasher film and whatever. So
I know.
they went in to chop out like a good 20 minutes or so. And by that is when they introduced the exposition Freddy dialogue sequences, which is what I hate. But they did that
Mm,
for time purposes. So it kind of made me
yeah.
appreciate. I was pissed at one end, but then I'm like, okay, well that explains it. Then it wasn't at least written that way out of the gate. That was there to condense time to get the point across. I still think they're treating the audience like idiots in certain sequences when Freddy's really talking to the crowd, but
I
I
can't
forgive it.
do
But
it if they don't do this.
yeah,
That shit.
but at least it was a very interesting read, well worth your time. And then the last one is this one that I'm only starting, and I got this a while ago too. Carrie got it for me. Again, on
Oh,
Amazon, it's like 32 bucks or something like that. If you go on eBay,
fuck.
expect to see it like for 170, 150 bucks.
Woo.
Like, fuck you. Just That's what I ask people. If you go to eBay, chances are you're also checking out other avenues. If you're not, you're idiots. Because I instantly go to eBay. If I think it looks like a good price, I'll still check somewhere else. Like you're talking about Hamilton books, you're talking about
Right.
Amazon, for instance. I mean, like, who wouldn't look? I'm like, why are you thinking you can get away with 150? I think some people just throw shit out there and see, hey, if someone's going to pay this, why the fuck not? But
Well,
who would pay it? I don't know.
some things you have to be in the know for. Some like the Hamilton books thing. You have to be in the know, but I've been, I'm not any better than anybody else. So I didn't have the now, although I have ordered from Hamilton books before, and they were even sending me catalogs after I ordered for a few months, and then they would come and I would toss them. I was like, what do I need this? You know what I mean?
But just
And it
in
was
general,
mostly
you would
books.
check Amazon, right? You saw something
Right?
on one site, you
No. I'll go. No, this is what I
okay.
do. This is what everybody should do, and if they're not doing it, I don't understand why. You go to your freaking Google and you type in the title of that book. Here, what is it? What's that
Okay,
book
so
called?
by the way, I didn't say the book again for audio. I apologize for those
Cut to the
listening. It's
chase.
called See, Hear, Cut, Kill: Experiencing
Okay.
Friday the 13th, and it's by Wickham Clayton. And
Okay.
this is a more intellectual take. So it starts like I'm 40, 50 pages in, 50, 40 pages in. And it's a lot of what he's talking about here is about point of view, perspective, using German expressionists. Like they talk about Nosferatu and how it's framed. They take a page out of Stanley Kubrick, Brian De Palma. They're talking about all this. We haven't really even started talking about Friday the 13th yet. It's more essay driven, but it's interesting to me. Talking about point of view and perspective and how it relates to the slasher film and
Right.
eventually how it's going to play into Friday the 13th. So, really
Right.
cool take on it. I thought it was just going to be more fan service. I literally thought it would be like the book version of our show, to be honest,
Yeah. Right. Right.
which is
Sure.
fine. I mean, there
And
might be a
well,
market for
yeah.
that too, but this is a nice, like, cool, like, take on Friday the 13th, so far anyway. So,
That's
I I
wonderful. I want to
I
see this.
yeah, I'm only
Read it.
like I said,
Right.
I'm only very, very, like, not even a quarter of the way through yet. So, it'll be interesting to see where it goes, but I like it's smaller font, so I gotta wear my reading glasses to read it. There's no question about that. Uh, that'd be
Yeah.
my only change, but it doesn't seem to matter now. I think reading glasses are just the norm for me now, which has been the last 8 months.
Okay. Well, hope it stays that way, and it's just reading glasses. By the
Yeah.
way, okay, no, I'm too many damn things. Um, I will say this. I love the
Oh,
history of the slasher and what led to what
yeah.
and everything else. I'm going to get to the book
Yeah.
itself. But when you were talking about that, it reminded me of the thing I did on Jay the Dead's new horror movies. And this is something, it isn't often that I say that I come on any show and I say, check this thing out. I did
Yeah.
this and I really like it. And I think you should listen.
Yeah.
But, and I should come back and tell everybody the exact episode it was, the number. When I talked about what to me constitutes a slasher, and the makeup of what it takes, and
Yeah.
this is like a half hour freaking thing. I think it's one of the better things I did when was able to go out there and say, this is what makes it a slasher. This is what doesn't make it a slasher. This is what influenced it, and etc. And
Like
that's something that I
like
like to
Texas
share. I should.
Chainsaw, right? I'm adding to you because I know that we both kind of agree that although it gets bundled in with slasher, we don't necessarily consider Texas Chainsaw Massacre a
No,
slasher movie. Now, I might say Leatherface is part 3 follows like more of a slasher realm a bit more, but you still get the family element. I know I agree with a lot of what you have to say there. Some of them blur the
that's
lines a
fine.
little bit, but
Okay,
I know what you
yeah.
mean. Yeah,
The last Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a slasher for sure. But that's all it can be is a
coming in hot.
slasher. It's a
Yeah,
slasher in its simplest form, which is great, and that's what I liked about it. But let me go there. See here, cut, kill, book. I put that in Google. I went
yeah,
over here. Now you go to that little thing where you press shopping. See that little button? Shopping. Let's see what comes up, people. Okay.
yeah,
Thriftbooks.com, 25.69 used. $30, books a million, 29.71 used on here. Amazon, well, that's not the same book. But okay, 110
yeah.
Barnes and Noble. Okay. 25.99 used from Walmart. Okay, so that is used. But the bottom
Ye
line is this.
but go to did
eBay.
they show you any eBay ones? Have you seen anything? The 110 was pretty expensive. Did you see anything more, like, than
Well,
that?
it's only eBay one that came up in the search for shopping was the used one for 29.71. That's just the one that came up. So
Buy it
I
now or
go there.
bidding?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't get into let's see. I'll
Because
click
that's
on it
actually
now.
good.
Let's click on it to eBay and see what it says. It is no free shipping 29.71. Buy it now. That's
Perfect.
it.
That's good. When I checked it out and this book I'd show this book would pop up, I didn't even check it out. I think I was checking out Friday the 13th and this book showed up and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And then I went right to Amazon and it was like 30 bucks. I'm like, "Why would anybody even entertain the idea of 100 and something dollars for this book?"
Yeah. No, this is
And,
what
and it's a good book, but I'm just saying,
right.
not for that.
No, well, this one says $40 on eBay for brand new,
Yeah,
and they have
yeah.
5 of them. Either way, the bottom line is go to your Google and then go to the shopping thing and then really get deep into the freaking woods or the weeds or whatever they call it. Go down and then and click more and do this and instead of just going to those freaking 2 places, eBay and Amazon, you got to play around. How do you think I found that freaking that DVD that you said we couldn't find at a reasonable price, that Friday the 13th, which is the 4 pack of 5, 6, 7, and 8. You go to eBay and you type that in, and it's all 1 through 4. 5 through 8, you can't find it on eBay at a reasonable price. So now, just C was telling me about it. So I'm looking for this one because I got the first one. Here's how I'm a completionist
Oh,
because I got the first
god.
4. I got to get the other 4 because it's a 4 pack. It's cool. I'm not going to collect all the part one and part two and part three, or part three and part four, whatever it is, because I don't need that necessarily. I don't like the way the covers look with the thing in half. Either way, I'll get one for like 1 and 2 because I want a representation of each one that was put out, but I don't need every single one of every one that was put out. That's how all differ. Like the white ones you have behind you, I had the one with the corkscrew. I thought it was cool and interesting to have there. That's my representation. There's another one like that I want, but it's actually for part two. This was started in Italy or something, and it's the cover and it's in Italian. And it's the same cover, but it's called Vironere Part Two or something. And that's the one I want, but I think it's like $30, and I'm still waiting
Let
and waiting. I'll
let
get that. But
let me share my screen while you're talking. I hope this comes out in the recording as well. I think it will. So again, visual, but it's the first thing I put up when I went to eBay was this book title, and look what pops up. Host is disabled. Oh, I can't because I guess it's disabled on your end. And
oh,
we won't get into it today. I guess you have to enable
can
it,
I
which
do
is
it?
fine.
If I push the
Uh,
share screen, will it work? Is that all I got to do?
no, no, I think that's
Then I
you
share
sharing
mine.
your screen. Yeah, so
Right.
it's not a big deal, but 179.84 plus 17.50 new other for this book, sponsored.
Forget that.
Who the fuck? And then you go down to 54.72 plus 12 bucks better, 92 bucks, 194, $90, $238 from Australia plus $8.35 shipping. They didn't even include the shipping. And then 40 bucks, 80 bucks. Like, do people not look? Even the people selling them, do they not look at what other people are selling these at? Like,
Well, maybe they're power sellers. They just put everything up there 1 day a month based
it's
on what's
fucking
going on
crazy.
that day, and they don't look because they make so much because they have so much action going on. Maybe they're power sellers or they're big ones, like big. You know what I mean? So
Like
they
power
put them up there.
bottoms?
They list the price.
Power bottom. Yeah,
That's something.
power
Yeah,
bottom.
power bottoms. Yeah, that's something. I said it's something. Yes.
Oh, man.
So
Well, I'm
I don't
glad
even
we
know
we're glad we got into that little book segment. I don't know if there's any other books that I have
books. Well,
right now. There's
I'm reading
other
my
obviously
two
great books, but yeah. Well, I went on a binge because, like, I mean, again, what usually happens is that I'll go into these little, like, just s like, it's like I don't read for a long time. I That sounds horrible, or if I do, it's like an article here or whatever, or online or whatever, but, like, I sit down with a novel because, again, it seems like we're prepping for the show, doing the show, I've gotta edit the show, work, or I play video, whatever it may be, and so the reading takes a back seat. consistently. But then I just went in this binge, and I went through, Sackhead, Freddy versus Jason. I read another book I got for Christmas that wasn't horror related at all, and then the See Here Cut Kill is what's on the agenda right now, and I'll fit that in because my wife's like, "You weren't reading anything, now you got 4 books on the go." I'm like, "That's how my mind is." I read a little
Yeah,
bit. I read a little bit from this book, a little bit from that book, or whatever. She's like, "Just stick to a book and read it." I'm like,
that's true. I
"I
couldn't
can't."
bounce like that. I
No, I
can't do it.
do.
I gotta
I
stick
don't know
to
what it
one.
is. I bam,
My
boom,
mind don't
bing,
work
bing.
that way.
I played that
I'd
Stray
be
video game, the game that's made for you, man. It's about a cat. You control
oh,
the cat the whole time. It's a super cute game, but not kid
wow.
cute because he's in a like, a dystopian future. No, every future, as we joke on the show, is dystopian.
Yeah.
And it's a cyberpunk type element, and he befriends a robot thing, and he gets this suit on him, and it's really well done. It's not a long game, but it's really engaging. Great graphics, cute gameplay, like good gameplay, kind of puzzle-esque because you have to figure out where you're going. You interact with people and you figure it out, and it was really well done. I loved it. I played that, and I played The Last of Us, of course. Last of Us Part Two. I'm still playing.
Mm.
Um, Went through some Tomb Raider games. Like I just caught up on all these games that I hadn't played. The remake of Resident Evil 3 finally played. I had it for ages. I hadn't played it, so I'm just like I've got all these games. I said I was going to play them. Just like let's get through them, and I just started going
Man,
crazy.
I'm never gonna have time to I even you know what? I'm gonna run upstairs for 1 second. Keep the
Do it.
listeners busy, can you?
Yeah,
Alright. Talk about
I'll
video
twiddle my
games, because
thumbs.
then I'll weigh in my stuff on listeners,
Yeah,
not on listeners, on video games, because 'cause I'll be right back.
yeah.
How's
That's all. No worries. I got nothing to say. Sir Dave is the way that the show works. I bounce off Dave. No Dave, no show. Anyway, I'm sorry. Bad joke. The jokes don't get better whether I'm by myself or with someone else on camera. But for those video games, if you really like them, like some of the more obscure ones I talked about on the show before was Layers of Fear. That was fantastic. Very atmospheric, made me jump. You play it late at night with headphones on. Fucking fantastic if you like atmosphere. The remakes of the Resident Evils, which seems to be their big craze right now, although they released Village, which I still haven't played yet, is that part two was fantastic. Part three was good. Part three didn't seem to have the same pizzazz. It didn't. It looked good, but it's a very quick game. It didn't really keep me as invested as part two did. And part four, their really popular one that kind of jumped from horror to like action horror. That remake is coming out very shortly. I'm looking forward to checking that out because that game was phenomenal. And even though I've played most of those Resident Evil games multiple times in the original format, somehow the upgraded graphics and some of the new differences or some of the updates that they've done have made it worth checking out again. The only thing I won't do is pay full pop. This is where I turn into Dave. I can't justify paying $79.99 just because it's a remake. Even though time was put into it, I'm going to wait till it goes on one of their sales and you can get it for half price. And that happens 2 to 3 times a year that they do it. You just have to wait that honeymoon period where it's a new product and they won't let you, get it for a deal. It's always a deal 6 months later. And that's my take. So that's video
I
game
agree
talk with
with it.
Christian.
Video game talk with Christian, nice,
C
thanks.
section.
C-section,
That was the
nice.
Brandon term. I think he said we got to call
Yeah.
it C section or something.
We've been
But
meaning to right, to have that
yeah,
whole thing. Remember when we were trying to do it in the beginning where we were gonna do segment related things? Because at the
yeah.
time they were doing something on 22 shots, and Brandon was a 22 shots fanboy to begin with. So he
So
wanted to do had that idea, and I loved it. I go, we can do that. C-section was a good name.
that's the latest, yeah, the latest edition. Again, Friday the 13th, the final chapter Laserdisc.
What is that, an
Again,
album?
no, it's the Laserdisc.
Wow, looks like a
You
freaking
know,
album, which it
that's
is.
what the Laserdisc look like, right?
Wow,
So
that's beautiful.
good condition. Unfortunately,
Wow.
like I need to figure out whether or not I want to get a Laserdisc player, which those they rope you
Huh.
for. Like CED players and Laserdisc players, you're going to be spending probably close to $100 or more if you want to get them.
Can't do that.
Yeah, and I'm not really
Not
interested in
doing it.
looking at the again, I kind of I'm from the same camp you are. I've got the Blu-rays,
Yeah,
4K scans of most of these, 4K for the first one. I'm okay. This is for collecting.
buddy.
I like these because
That's
it's a dual thing.
yeah,
It's a
man.
physical media of the series I love, and it's
Yes,
also dual. Like I could use it as poster art.
I love
So
that.
that's what I like
Well,
about it too. So that's where I
most
follow.
things, most things that people collect, they don't use. They purchase them, they put them on a shelf. Boom, that's my collection. Here's a collection of fucking Fabergé eggs. Here's a collection of freaking Norman Rockwell paintings. Here's a most people that collect fucking shitty stamps, coins, this and that, figures. You don't do anything. So what is the difference between collecting these for the purpose of display? Just because there's
Yeah,
something inside that you can play, well, yeah, I don't need that. I already have this one that I play, and I open it up and I play it. So
that's
what is wrong?
I
I
agree.
mean, I'm going back to the. I'm still bitter about the VHS attack that was on me just because I like to display them and not watch them. I was vilified by a part of that
Yeah,
crew. You know what I mean? But it's like I'm
assholes.
collecting it. But I promise you, I get more joy every time I walk down my stairs and look around my room than you
I
do
do too. When
taking
I
your
come into
copy
your
of
house,
Terror Train and putting
yeah.
it in a VHS and watching it once. Okay, that was fun to do.
Well, that's what I mean,
Fine
I
with
told
that.
you, I popped the VHS in, watched it, like, once, yeah, go, "Oh, cool." Now I realize why this is such a pain. I am fucking adjusting the tracking, even though it has auto tracking, you're still fucking around with it. You gotta rewind the fucking thing. I'm like, "You know what? I if there was a time for it, I like it. It's a nice memory,
Yeah,
but I've evolved. We've all evolved. I'm not saying that you
yeah.
can't you collect it for fun, but don't be a dick about it. And that was the difference. We somehow became the dicks. Well, I mean, I understand why I was a dick of that group based on the video and posted it. I asked for it in a sense, but I'm talking about that only came out of them acting like assholes. If everybody was
Right, man.
cordial and it was a nice group, none of that would have happened. There would have been 4 more VHS intact to this day.
What do you expect? Everybody, that's what they do online. Everyone just likes to get crazy
Yeah,
and talk about things. And
crazy.
I don't mean this to be a
Put
tough
some
guy,
VHS
but
on.
bottom line
Sorry.
is you never talk that way to somebody in person. Not because they're afraid you're going to punch you, because people don't just talk that way in person. People
Yeah.
usually aren't rude or mean or talk to other people that way when they're in the same room with them.
If we
And that's what
were
makes
in
no
the
sense.
same room with those people, maybe 1 or 2 of them might have been assholes. Most of them, I think we would have gotten along because we all were probably horror fans. So we all there would have been common ground, but they latched onto something and we responded. And again, the way we responded ended up just making it worse. It was like salt in the wound, vinegar, whatever, a little bit of both, salt and vinegar chips into the wound.
I just tried to
And
explain this is what I do and it
you
makes me
can't.
happy. You
Dave,
know,
I've if
that's it.
there's one thing I've learned, it's not worth it because everybody just
No.
takes it the fucking wrong fucking way. So now I've just that's my new things ignore. Just let it just die out in
Well,
peace.
that's it. Well, that's it. And again, I spend less time on it. You know what I'm saying? So that's all good. I go on the toilet, I read now. And when I'm done, when I go upstairs at night and I'm brushing my teeth or this or that, I watch YouTube. You know, I do a
Yeah.
lot of that. I'll get in bed, I'll do it. So here's what I realized about me and reading, though. Back to the reading thing. I am much more into reading um, biographical things
Yeah. Well,
than I
I
am
think we've
a book of fiction.
agreed.
I don't know why, but I can start reading it, like the novel, which I think is an excellent novel. But I can read it, and I might read it for like freaking 2 3 weeks, and then I'll lose the excitement of going and sitting down and reading it. But see, that's what I'm saying. When I read a work of fiction, most of the time, I know I don't get into that famous phrase that I couldn't put the book down. That doesn't happen with books of fiction with me. It happens with biographies and things like that. For
What if it
whatever
was a
reason,
biography on Pennywise? Sorry.
maybe so. A biography like the novelization of him as a
Imagine that was how
character.
Stephen King like did
That's
his
that.
book. It's a
Right.
biography of a fictional like kill. That's a cool idea. King, can
Let's
you get
do it.
on that?
Yeah,
Let's
let's do
do
it.
it. Let's do it.
We can
Another
do it.
project. Another project will just
Yeah.
pop into the old
Yep.
generator.
Into the yeah, I was gonna say generator. Just keep loading it. They got a big machine here.
Project
They
generator.
keep going in like the Sneetches. They come on the other side with no star on their stomach. You know? That's another deep cut. Um, that's something that could be seen today. Watch the Sneetches. Watch that shit. Dr. Seuss, read it, or watch that movie, Dr. Seuss on the Loose, where they talk about the Loraxes in there and a couple others. But the Sneetches is a good representation of society now, and the removal of the star from the stomach, and just check it. Dr. Seuss, he said some good things. I don't know if he's banned or canceled for any reason. I remember there was talk about something at one point.
Oh, who
I could be
fucking
way
knows?
off base on this.
Yeah.
I don't know who is what, or who is acceptable in this crew and who is acceptable over here anymore, because there's so much flying all over the place that I can't keep up with it, nor do I care to. I just, like my daughter said yesterday, literally, super pretzels. It's her favorite thing to buy. Those soft pretzels.
Yeah.
Okay, those
What
soft
they
pretzels.
put a
She
little
loves
cape
them.
on them now
No, they don't put
to make
anything
them
on them, but she
super?
says what
Sorry,
they've always
it's a
been called super
horrible
pretzels.
joke.
A
They,
cape.
yeah. Little cape.
She would eat super pretzels regardless of what they endorsed or stood for, because she enjoys them, and she goes, "I'm not gonna deprive myself over that." She goes, literally, she goes, "I don't care." Now remember, everybody, she's mixed, okay? She can say this about Italian or African American, but she could say, "Hey, listen," this is what she said. She says, "I don't care if they're anti-black or pro-black. If I like the product, I'm using it." She goes, "If super pretzels were anti-black, I would still eat them." And I said, "Good on you. That's okay." I boycott anyone that has any opinion on anything, because I think you should keep your opinions away from your products and what you're selling and everything else. So by default, whether I agree with the message or disagree with the message, as soon as you put anything on your product or at your shop or anything that weighs in on an opinion or a hot button topic, I
I
will no
I
longer
get it.
support you.
I
Yeah.
get it, but I'm the asshole that because it triggers so many people, and if I see it more the negative way, like the Kid Rock blowing up his Bud Light with his assault rifle, I want to buy more Bud Light because I love it because
Well, you know
because
why?
I'm the
Because
asshole.
you
I'm just there like dee, 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 dee. I'm not going to smash it. It's not going to be like a
well,
VHS tape. I'm going to drink the Bud Light. I'm going to enjoy it, but it just because it triggers someone so much that he actually pulls a trigger like literally in this case, and fires an assault rifle at beer. I'm like, the guy, like, what he had like 2 hits. How is this guy still around? The guy looks like my like if I had a grandfather, that's what Kid Rock looks like. If I had an Alabama grandfather, that's what like, he looks so fucking old. Now, I don't know what happened to this guy, but why is he still around? Why am I watching videos of him shooting an assault rifle? It's just more about me, I guess.
Well, that's why, because anyone that wants to get noticed, see how easy it is? Now it's the spin-off effect. Because you put something on a product, people are going to talk about the product. It's free advertising. I still think it's a dumb move because they're going to alienate your audience, and not maybe even a dumb move. It's an agitating move for me as a person, and I don't care what it says. It could say anything at all. It could say we love Italian people and have an Italian flag on there and say we're pro Italy. I wouldn't buy it, and I'm Italian because I
You
don't
know
want
what
to
I
hear
would
about
do?
what you're prideful
If
about.
I
I don't
was
care.
if remember there's the
Tell me
midget
your
that was with
product.
him or the little person, well, that used to be with him?
Oh,
At the time, it was the
what's
midget.
his name?
If he
Joe.
was
Joe
is he
C.
alive? Is he alive?
Joe C has passed. No, Joe
I
C's
would
been
oh,
gone
he
a bit
passed.
now.
Oh, damn it. Well, you can't do it now or it's gonna be a weekend at Bernie's thing. I would have posted a video of just drinking Bud Light right now as a response. That would have been great. Any little person out
Well,
there, any of our little people listeners, do that. I don't know why, but just do it.
Joe C was gay, so he would have probably done that. I'm
But
completely kidding.
he's
Joe
gay.
C was not gay to my knowledge. I don't know. I just,
I
bottom line is, who cares anyway? I don't care if you fuck. Well, okay, I care. I was gonna say I don't care if you fuck a chicken. You shouldn't fuck a chicken. Okay, I don't care if you fuck a man or a woman or anyone that identifies as whatever they want to identify
chicken.
as.
What if they identify
I
as a
don't
chicken?
care who you fuck. It makes no
Fuck!
difference to me.
Where do you want this
You ain't thinking about
fuck? In the
fucking these
back?
chickens,
No,
are
the
you? I was
back.
thinking of Devil's Rejects. I was thinking about. You ain't gonna fuck these chickens. But anyway, how do we even start on that? But all I know is that I like what Frankie says. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Basically, she summed it up. She said,
Man,
"There's
I love
always
my own
gonna
jokes.
be there's always gonna be hate in the world. I can't control it. It is what it is. So I'm not even gonna acknowledge it. Whatever. Me, I boycott everything that has an opinion that doesn't need to be there. But that's it. But anyway, back to Frankie. She in video games. See, we keep bringing it around. This is great. She
It's in a roundabout way. It's great.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun. The thing is this, she now her latest thing is jailbreaking. This 16-year-old freaking prodigy is finding ways to jailbreak everything. She wants an old
Oh,
PS, another 3,
yeah.
or no, my 3, that she can jailbreak it. She can jailbreak this, that, and everything.
Does
Where
she sing Jailbreak while she's doing it?
jailbreak, yeah,
Yeah.
AC/DC,
Yeah.
nice, awesome.
That's what
I
I
should
wanted
show
to
it to
do.
her.
Yeah.
Right? I should play that song for her. But she's now I have access to all these video games through this system and that because she's in this process of jailbreaking, and I'm still not playing them. I'm even asked her for games. I'm like, "Hey, can you get
That's the
this, and
problem,
this?"
man. When you have them, it's like movies. You have all these movies in front of you. It's like being at that video store. You're like, well, what am I going to actually watch? You have these games. I've done it before, dude.
I
I
know
had
that.
it on my Wii. I soft modded it. It was called at the time. I had the right version. I looked online. I'm like, this seems simple. You had flash drive. Do something with your
Yep,
USB
yep,
stick. Pop it into the
yep.
Wii. Transfer some files. Boom! I can hook up a hard drive and insert my disk, copy the game over to the hard drive. You don't need the game anymore, or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that this is necessarily legal or whatever, but this was years
Well,
ago. I just did it, and then I didn't. Your games, you don't touch them. You're not getting scratched. You're not worried about insurance on them or whatever. And then you could play the games right off the hard drive, and it was really cool. You could download games if you really wanted to, and just put them up there. What the downfall is, you have all these games in your system, you never play any of them. You still
right.
end up
I don't have
playing one
time.
game.
I've decided I'm gonna watch movies. That's my hobby. I don't have time to fucking do other things. I just don't. If there were more hours in the day, it'd be great. But I'm not gonna play video games because I'm still behind on movies. There's still more movies I want to watch, and when I'm not
Yeah,
watching movies, I'm watching a show. I prefer that. I don't have. I'm glad that other people can do everything. I listen to music in my commute and here and that. That's fine. I'll always listen to music a lot, and I always do every day. There's not a day goes by I don't hear music. But the thing is, I'm always going to have music. I'm going to try to get to podcasts when I can, and I do. But I'm going to watch movies in my free time. That's what I'm going to do. I decided not to sit there and play video games. Not that I don't want to. I want to, but it's like
yeah. No,
there's only
I
so many
have.
hours. A lot of
I
people are like you. I get it.
I
It's awesome. I just don't.
I just
Yeah,
divide it. I you know what I
yeah.
do? I say, I'm gonna play video games for the next hour, 2 hours, and then it's just at night. Like, my wife, kids are going to sleep or whatever, and I
Oh, I'm
usually try
masturbating.
to
I'm just kidding. Unless I had sex,
yeah.
then
Well, that's
maybe not.
fine, but then 3 minutes later, I'm playing video games.
See what 3 minutes for you? I'm not even gonna get. It takes me so long to settle on what I'm gonna use. There's so much decision in
Oh my
what's gonna
god.
qualify
I am click,
that
done.
really sometimes I am, sometimes, but most of the time, I got a whole procedure. I gotta go. I'm not gonna discuss it, but I'm just saying it takes time. It takes time for me to decide what I'm. It's almost like picking out a movie to watch off your shelf.
That's
It's
what I
the
was
same thing
Oh, you're saying for
for me.
that.
That's
Wow.
what it is.
Wow, my
Yes, for
dear
that.
lord. I
I know.
I
It's
think the
crazy.
last time we recorded, I think I said I was going through blind spots, not necessarily in horror, although horror may be part of it, but just classic movies that I'm like, I don't think I've actually seen this. And I've got to fix that because, and
Hey, we're gonna
we
do
did
it.
talk about it. I think I did it when we were talking about Scream, actually, because it's only happened since I think that time frame, since we recorded our first episode 200, part three, and here. So I think I mentioned it when we were doing that bonus episode. So I watched The King of Comedy, Network, which I have seen Network before, but it's been a long time. The French Connection, Cool Hand Luke, the Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, The Dirty Dozen, The Great Escape, the Bad, the Wild Bunch, um,
You mean the
and the
Wild
list is good.
Bunch?
There's going to be
What movie?
more. After Hours, which I've seen, I saw After Hours before. Spring Breakers, which is not that's more recent, but I
Yeah.
always wanted to watch it, but never did. Man, that movie's got some love. It's not that great of a movie. I don't know why people seem to love that movie so much.
It just went
Spring
on
Breakers.
sale or something. The blue was real cheap. And here's the thing, I get confused. When I see Spring Breakers, I think of that other movie, Sightseers. And I just
Okay.
realized now what when you said Spring Breakers, I was thinking of that movie Sightseers, the horror movie. And isn't that a horror movie? Sightseers?
Sightseers?
Yeah, with the girl from Prevenge in it and hold on, let me see.
Mm.
Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Spring Breakers is the horror movie. Is it?
It's not really horror at all. It's not horror at all.
Okay,
At
no,
all.
Sightseers
Yeah.
is the horror movie. Alice Lowe and freaking what's his name? It's a Ben Wheatley movie, Sightseers. Okay, but all this time I kept seeing that movie.
Vaguely sounds familiar, but I don't why am I not placing it?
Uh, Either way, I kept seeing that movie come up because it's on sale on Blu-ray and Blu-ray.com. I'm looking all the time, and I keep seeing Spring Breakers, and every time I saw it, in my mind, it was Sightseers, and that's all I'm saying. But just now, when you were talking about it, I made the connection. I'm like, wait a minute, Spring Breakers? That's not fucking this movie. I don't know what Spring Breakers is. It a comedy? Spring Breakers?
It's no, it's a weird movie. I mean, it's about girls that end up wanting to go on spring break. They don't have enough money, so they decide to rob a restaurant, get away with it, make enough money, go on spring break, have fun, get mixed up with, sort of the wrong guy, but don't really like it. One girl gets tired, goes back to school. The other girls kinda like this sort of life of possible crime and whatever else, and James Franco is like the head sort of guy, but he treats them well, but then it's like a bank, like a robbery gone wrong. It's a very bizarre movie. And I think that's why people liked it because it didn't really fit into
Mhm.
one definitive genre, but it's kind of a mix mash. But it's not horror, but it's like crime, drama, thriller, I guess. Like
Okay.
it's
Well,
worth
you did
checking
what
out. I don't hate it.
right.
I just don't understand why like people would be like I think some people might have given it a 5 out of 5 and whatever. I guess just like anything. You get people that just
Yeah.
love a movie to that degree and I'm like it was good, but it borderlined on what the fuck am I watching here? Like, what
Mm,
are they trying to sell me? Like, this does not. Are you fucking kidding me here? Like, and I said that a couple of times, and I gave it 3 stars out of 5. Moods, for
okay.
instance, gave it 4.5 out of 5, and I
Wow.
see a lot of 4.5s or some people I'm following some 5s, but I think I'm more legit.
Legit. Too legit.
I
Too
think I'm
legit to
right.
quit.
No, I mean,
Hey,
everybody's gonna have their own opinion of it, but
I'm curious. I'm curious about it, but I don't know when I'm gonna go watch that. I didn't do it this year. You did what I usually
I
do.
think you'd
In
like it. I think you'd
January,
like it.
it's yeah, okay. Well, it's a
Yeah.
non-horror month and it's watching stuff that I haven't seen before and felt the need to. That's what I usually do. This past January, I was watching 1980 movies. Why? I don't know because we haven't recorded a podcast. And by the time we record
Oh
that
my
podcast on
god.
22
That
shots, I'm
irked me.
way forgotten because I already was forgotten. Right on.
We
I
were
already
gonna
forgot these
record. That would
movies.
have been a recording date, but you had it set for doing the 22 shot show, and then it never recorded. I was mad.
Unbelievable. Well, it is what it is. By the time we get it, it's going to be the quickest show ever for freaking a year for a what do you call for one of those shows that we do there, you know? Because I'm just going to be like, okay, New Year's Evil, 6 out of 10. This happens, this happens. The guy kills, he goes there, and
So you're
I
gonna pull
can't
a
remember
me.
much else. It was, yeah, but, well, not by choice, but because I'm not going to remember. You know what I'm saying? Especially if there's first time watches, and some that are going to make my list. You know, because we're doing 25 in that case because it's such a plentiful year with movies. But either way, by the time it's come, I'm gonna be doing it like you, which is fine. Which is fine. But I mean, it is what it is. We gotta read. We gotta do this thing. We got these questions. We got questions to
Oh,
answer.
yeah, and
I'm
then
sorry.
I didn't even get into the other thing, the rewatching of the Nightmare, on
Oh,
Elm Street
talk.
sequels.
Oh, we'll do
Other
that too.
than
Okay.
other
Let,
than what I didn't do Wes Craven's New Nightmare or the remake in this case, it was the original part 2 to part 6 rewatches,
2 to 6.
2 to 6.
Well,
You want me to
we
talk about
could
it
do
now,
it
or do you wanna do the questions
if you
first?
want to. How about we do the questions to get them
Yeah.
done, and then afterwards we'll do what we watched, and then I got to talk about some other things here that won't take long. A couple of searches I did for us, and some websites that I came about, which you may have known about the one already, but not the other, where people reviewed us and they talked about the show and stuff like that, about things that happened on the show. Did you ever see that thing, the TV tropes thing, where
Yeah,
people
that was a
talked about their show?
Heather gave that link to us, like, 2 years ago,
Okay, well,
or
there's
something like
two.
that. Oh, there's
Okay,
2
there's
now.
two
I
things
didn't
on
even
it.
know.
There's one and there's another one from two different people,
Oh, I didn't
right?
even know there was another
I
one.
thought it'd be funny. I know.
Interesting. Okay.
I just Googled "Exploding Heads Horror Movie Podcast" to see what would come up, and I kept going down
Hey,
"Exploding Heads Horror"
tell me more
and see
about
what I
me.
came around. Yeah, tell me more. But it's funny. It's funny. There's a lot of funny stuff about this show on there. It was all
Yeah,
Brandon era stuff, but it's funny.
yeah.
So we had the five
The
questions that
Brandon
were asked
era.
of us. The Brandon
Uh,
era,
that's
um,
awesome. Speaking of which, that
which I
prick
did.
was supposed to I know you weren't gonna say anything, but there was a chance he was gonna be on today. There
Well,
was
that's
a chance that he was gonna be on today.
yeah, there was.
Damn it.
Well, that's why I got excited and did this. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, since now I'm not going to wait for the next time. I figured I'll do it. But we have some questions because there's that old thing, that old tier on Patreon, the five questions, which no one's using so long. It's been so long, but we've had a lot of new people coming on. And everything's great and
Yeah.
it's cool. So, which thank you. And we have this guy here, Rumple Foreskin is the guy.
That's his real
Not to be
name.
yeah, not to be
Ron
confused with,
Gann.
Gann, Gann. Maybe it is Ron
Gann.
Gann, who knows?
Yeah.
But it's not Rumple
Well,
Gin Gin, and it's not
foreskin.
Rumple Skin Skin, which, by the way, that's what I call my cat sometimes, you know? Rumple because I call her Skin Skin, and that's a whole other thing, me and that cat, but that goes back to a whole story. Hey, did you ever play Nintendo Hockey back in the day? Just the original
Oh,
game by an
like,
NES called Ice Hockey.
I'm sure I did at my buddy's place because for whatever reason, I had a ColecoVision and an Atom computer. But my dad would never
Oh.
splurge for the Nintendo, which was the actual, like, "Oh my god, here we go," because it
Oh,
blew
yeah.
he knew Atari
It was a
sucked.
jump.
He said, "Atari is the worst graphics, I'm never gonna do it. ColecoVision's the way to go," and I had ColecoVision and a bunch of games, and that's when you'd have a game and you play it to death. You get 1 game,
Yeah.
not like a ton of games. You have 1 game and you just played it and played it and played it until your birthday came. Then you might get another game, and then Christmas, you might get another game, maybe, if you're lucky. But the short version of the story is, yes, I believe I played it because my buddy had Nintendo, and I played all those originals there at his
Okay.
place.
Well, do you remember? Do you remember what it looked like? And
Yeah,
I
looked like
know it
shit.
so much.
Wasn't it 2
I could
players on
hum
it
Yes,
only?
you'll play against your friend.
Yeah, but
No,
there
it's
was no
4.
team. Oh,
No, you're thinking of fucking Atari or
you're
something.
so
But
bad.
either way, the
No.
NES one the NES one, I know so much and I play so much that I'm humming the fucking theme song in my head to myself for the screen where you
I know
first
it.
turn it on.
Hum
It
it.
goes doo 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 doo
It's
doo doo
not what I'm
doo.
thinking. I'm thinking
But
of a
then when the
different one. I
game
think
starts,
yeah.
well, hold on. There's the gameplay song. It goes doo 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 doo
Yeah,
doo doo doo
that's
doo
what I
doo doo
remember.
doo
I do remember that.
doo.
Sorry, I got my
Din
nose is
din.
start going on.
Din 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 din
Just
din
keep singing it, Dave.
din 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 dun 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 dun, and then because of goal, you know. I know these songs so well. I played the game so many fucking times. I know. So anyway, in that game, if you recall, you can choose the characters that you want to have on your team. There's a skinny guy, there's a fat guy, and there's a middle-sized guy. Do you remember this? Being able to choose the positions they're going to be in,
Like,
and how there
vaguely,
was a
but I
fat
do
guy, a skinny. Okay,
yeah.
okay. Well, that's where skins comes from. My little brother used to call that skinny guy skins, right? That was just his nickname. And then we started calling the fat guy Fat Skins, just because, whatever. So skins and
So
fat skins.
weird
Now
how
my cat is named Ginny. For the longest time, I've called her Ginjins. It's just something that came about with your pets or whatever. So now Ginjins has turned into she's skinny. She's the smallest cat and she's skinny. So She also gets called Skin Skins on top of fucking. So now there's Skin Skins. Sometimes she's Rumple Skin Skins. She's this. I got so many nicknames for this poor cat. There's
Give her
Shrimp
rumple
Shrimp
foreskins, though.
because she's well. That's it. Yeah, Rumple Foreskins. I said not to be confused with yeah, Rumple Skin Skins. Anyway, because that was in my head. I got so
Weird that
nicknames
you
for
have
so
that,
many.
and I've got Donkey Kong Jr., and
Cereal.
it was something like dun 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 dun, and
Yeah.
it was and he was holding a banana or something like that, and when my buddy would come over, because that's the game I had, he we somehow his nickname become Dick the Dangling. I don't know why, but it looked like, I
Who
guess
did your friend or Donkey Kong
the
Jr.?
Donkey Kong Jr. because he had that banana and he was I guess he was holding it or he had something in his hand and it looked like it was just an extension of and so it was like it looked like he had a big honking dick. So he became Dick the Dangling.
Wow.
And yeah,
Dick the
and you
Dangler.
just
I remember when he
I
used to
forgot about
climb.
that until you brought up like the
Skin
skin
Skins.
thing and a
Yeah.
nickname from it. And then I came up with the stupid song to go with that tune. It's like suck my dick until it turns purple. Suck my dick until it turns purple.
Wow.
Because my sense of humor back then hasn't evolved. Like, there's been no
That's awesome.
evolution. Like you
That's
say, I
fucking
what I
great.
find funny, I still find funny.
That's
And
it. I do.
mock tunes to regular music is funny to me.
Agreed. Always has been, always will be. There's no
Yeah.
question. Okay. This song here, what video game is it from? Hold on. Doom, 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 brown. Doom, 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 doom. Doom, 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 doom.
Donkey Kong, isn't it?
Doom, 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 doom. Yeah. Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
figured. I
original
can't
Donkey
believe it
Kong.
took you that long.
Yeah.
I know all these
Oh,
things are all in my head
the
still.
blow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
brown, and then
yeah,
you know that other no when he grabs the
yeah,
fucking thing, the hammer. Anyway,
yeah.
what the hell about the video game Oh, do you remember the commercial for Donkey Kong Junior cereal or no?
No. I heard you say
Okay,
cereal when I started talking about it. No, I don't
yeah,
remember that.
I always think about that commercial. Yeah, so
You
many
always think
commercial
of this
songs.
is all it's always on my mind. I'm like, "Can I still get Donkey Kong Junior cereal?" Like,
You wanna
could
know
someone
what
pop it on my shopping list?
on my
Anyway, let's get to these
mind?
questions. Yeah,
Okay, let's get these fucking questions. Okay, so what the hell are
because
they? Are they
I
already
will say one of the questions, it's no different than Dick the Dangling era. Our friends had these exact conversations. For this amount of money, would you do this? For this amount of money, would you do this? And they
Oh, I have them all
typically
the
came
time.
out of drinking or other activities. But it's funny that that question was asked. I'm like, is this? Are you sure this is not one of our friends? Because it's the
No.
exact same
Well,
conversation
now it
we
is.
had
Now
back
they're
in
our
the day.
friend.
Yeah,
Rumple Foreskin. Maybe I don't know. Well, we don't know who he is exactly. But
aka Mike.
dude, the questions we have these questions all the time. Like in my life, still. Like we'll be hanging out on Friday night. And my brother will
Yeah,
ask me, "Well, you know, it'll just come up in something. You know, imagine if this happened." And they go, "You know, how much would it take? What would be the threshold? What would be the lowest you would go to climb in the ring and get your ass kicked by Jake the Snake Roberts and have a snake put on you? How
yeah,
much like nowadays, how much would you accept? What would be the proper payment? Because you gotta fly out there, you gotta get the
yeah.
all this stuff. So we have these discussions all the time just because they're fun. But anyway, let's get to these questions. Okay. Number one, which current horror movie directors do you think are on the process of building a legacy comparable to the likes of Craven, Carpenter, Argento, Fulci, Romero, and so on? I will tell you,
Well,
there are
we've
some really good directors now,
yeah,
and I don't know what's the matter with me. It's almost like what I say. I need more time for things to simmer. I need 20 years to go and look back on it or something. Even though Flanagan's had all these great movies in a row, and even though Ari Aster has made two fucking superb films, and I still am not comfortable putting them alongside those guys.
see,
What's the matter with me?
I don't know. I sort of with you, and it's just the old school mentality of trying to let it go. James Wan is another one. Like, let's be honest, James
Mhm.
Wan came up with Saw,
Of
and it
course.
spawned the Saw franchise. As again we know, then
Conjuring,
he had
Insidious.
Conjuring 2, Insidious 2,
Great.
Malignant,
Yeah.
and why am I forgetting one? Well, I know he had, Dead Silence as well, but I'm just saying, so he's one, like, there's a lot of hits there. Maybe they're not at the caliber of the first Nightmare on Elm Street or Scream, but that's arguable because I would say that my daughter likes the Scream series or the Saw series more than she likes the Nightmare on Elm Street series. I'd say my
I should
daughter
ask my
would
daughter
definitely.
the same thing. Wow,
Yeah.
okay.
So
Well,
then
my
then you
daughter
gotta
hasn't
figure.
seen them all.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Okay,
After
well,
she saw fucking 4, she didn't wanna see the rest of them. I remember her
I'll
saying
get to
that.
that later. I'll do my rebuttal later because, like, it's interesting what, like, some of them, it's not necessarily they're not anything drastic as I told you in text, but it's just interesting, my when you rewatch these and you go back to them so many times.
Happens all the
But
time.
yeah,
Happened with me in one of the screams. So I get you.
Flanagan, Wan, Flanagan, James Wan, Ari Aster are the ones that came to my mind. I guess Oz Perkins could be. I think it
Man, yeah, I love his stuff too.
maybe you're right. Maybe, Zombie's another one, but Zombie's arguable. Some people absolutely like they're just maybe middling or they just dismiss him all, immediately. But I've liked most of his films.
See, the thing is, Craven has those 2 masterpieces, okay, and then he has the other ones too, the early Hills Have Eyes, Nice
Well,
House on the Left, and whatever,
yeah,
and some misfires and some other good ones, you know
oh,
what I mean?
those
So, here
misfires
and
though,
there.
holy shit!
Well, he does
Like,
have some.
well, no
Carpenter,
different. Like,
come on.
Shocker could be the equivalent of Malignant for me. So, I mean, I know people love Malignant, but I thought it was over the
Right.
top and ridiculous,
That
and that could be like
that's
the
fair.
Shocker-esque. But I'm saying, like, uh, James Wan has been very consistent. And I've given and I actually watched Conjuring 2 again. I hadn't watched it for a bit. I liked it way more. It's almost on par with the first.
Nice.
But
Told you.
I will say this though. I don't necessarily have to go out and rewatch them to I don't want to go. I put them on and I enjoyed them, but I would put
Ah,
on Nightmare on Elm Street, no questions asked, before I put on The Conjuring
you
or the first
see?
Scream before I put on The Conjuring for some reason.
Because you grew up with it or because I don't know, or
I
because
don't
it's
I
had
don't
more time?
I don't know. I've enjoyed both I
Right.
give the first Conjuring 10 out of 10. And now I'm saying that I think the second one is close,
Ooh,
if on par. Well, it was on my list. And Insidious is right up there too. And I really
okay.
do like the
I
first
love that,
Insidious, but
man.
I'm trying
Me
to
too.
think. Do I will put them on, but I will not I will probably pop on Nightmare on Elm Street before. Or no question
That's
the thing
fair.
before.
Oh, of
But
course.
again, that's not really the question he's answering, so I
I
will
know.
answer it by saying Juan is probably there. Flanagan, although I've had my issues with them, Flanagan's there
Right.
for most people, like,
Consistent.
he's consistent um, and then again, maybe we definitely bring up Oz Perkins more so than most, but
Yeah,
Ari Aster, I definitely bring up for sure,
for sure. Absolutely.
and
Well,
Zombie,
here are the
I'll pop in
2.
there, like, those are the ones.
If you look at our top the list we just had, the top 200, you have movies like Midsommar and like freaking Hereditary pretty high up. I can't
Yep,
remember exactly where they were, but I mean, you that could be compared almost to some of the, but again, it's only those 2 movies. Where Fulci, maybe in our eyes, has never had a 10 out of 10, but he still had representation and he still has a consistent library.
yep,
Argento, okay, so you got Suspiria, Deeper Attention. He had 6 movies on the fucking thing. How high were they in comparison to those 2 actors? I don't know exactly. I don't remember exactly. But what I'm saying is, you look at those. Romero, on the other hand, with those 3 Living Deads. I mean, the 3
yeah.
Dead series, and fucking, well, for me, for Creepshow being I mean, think about this. How is Creepshow not a bona fide classic? There's fucking been
Creepshow,
3 of them.
Martin,
One's a turd.
even the
One's a now they
crazies.
got a TV
Yeah,
show. It's a fucking product. It's a brand now, Creepshow. I mean,
yeah,
it's all there. So I mean, that
true.
something needs to be said about that, even if
True.
you don't love them. But
Yeah,
I can't put anybody. I understand what you're saying with Juan and Flanagan. I really do. But again, remember we made those lists of the top 20 directors?
yeah.
If I look at those lists, and I don't have it
I
in front of
gotta
me
see if I
now.
can find my list. I might still have
Yeah,
it there.
man. I almost wish I did have it because I want to see how high I had these, you know,
I do
These
have it.
guys freaking do you?
I
Just
had Juan
Georgia, I'm
listed
sure.
at 16. Oh, there's also Jordan Peele too, I guess you could throw in that batch. 'Cause, we're talking about the new style ones versus old. Del Toro is another one you could throw in that list. Del
Oh,
Toro,
yes.
Astor, Doherty, I had Pascal, from The Martyrs and, uh, oh my god, what did the one that he just I'm trying to blank, but, and then Bertino, Juan, Peele, Zombie. Those all are more of the modern ones that made my list.
Okay, well, check it out. See? Now I look at my list. I found my list. Argento, Romero, Carpenter, Cronenberg, Raven. Number 6, I have Flanagan. Number 7, Astor. Wow, number 8, Doherty.
And
Wow,
I
see what
actually
I'm
didn't have
saying?
Flanagan on my list, but that was just because I've got, I do have a bit of it's not a hate on, but I just like, again, I get he's been consistent. It's somehow something is just doesn't jive with me that he comes across as my favorite director. I out of all the movies
Fair.
he did, I'll probably watch Hush and Doctor Sleep over like again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, sure, I understand that. Yeah, Doctor Sleep for
But
sure.
he's been
But think about
consistent.
this. I have Juan, Astor, and Flanagan in my top 10. So again, I guess there's a difference between favorite and best. And so when I look at this, I'm just going about, I'm looking at it the same way, but I can understand why somebody would say, well, how can you say this? So I guess from where I sit, I can put them on that list. Maybe I just hold things old school in a higher regard just because they've been around longer. You don't
Yeah.
appreciate things maybe when you're in the moment, and I say this all the time,
Well,
I used to
we get
complain
criticized
about
for that too. Not just us. I'm talking about horror fans in
yeah,
general. Oh, it's not good because it wasn't made in the 80s. And it's not really just that. But
no,
there's
it's
been
not.
but part of that is the fact that it's been able to digest. And we've been able time has been kind to these or allowed us to have that. It's not just nostalgia, but it's part of it. And I could separate that I know that like again, Friday the 13th. I know that, it's not, a masterpiece in the sense of how it's made, but from a slasher standpoint, I could say it's a masterpiece in how it's made, in the sense of structured. And even though it was a ripoff, the legs that it's had and what it's led to and whatever and some of that's nostalgia for me, some of that's being petrified of it as a kid and then revisiting it
Yeah,
like to conquer that fear as I've said on the show numerous times and then spawned into the sequels and then just the icon that Jason is and whatever. But I mean I could separate the
yeah,
fact that from uh uh, uh artistic merit, it might not carry the weight of a Stanley Kubrick film or what it may be, but that's
yeah, but
okay.
who cares?
But that's
Right.
okay.
So be
Exactly.
it.
Just
You love what you
from
love.
and it's a movie, and so you judge it based on that criteria in the sense of like you love what you love is a perfect summary of it all.
And
But
that's okay.
we're we're the point is that again, it's the time frame. So you're right. There's no denying the fact that if something came out right now, you'd be like, "Oh my god, that blew me away," and you might put it there, and then time will tell if it still has that
Yes.
same power, just like it probably did in the day. And sometimes it worked in the other way, where it's like The Thing was considered a bomb and a flop. And you'd say some people loved it or liked it. Christine never really got the praise. And again, growing up reading and whatever, there was no interaction like we have nowadays with the community, the horror community, everything. But it didn't feel like that got the praise. Now it's considered a classic, one of his masterpieces, if you will. Like The Fog, Christine were at the time, and again, feel free to chime in, listeners, misfires because of the success of Halloween and then The Thing bombing and whatever. But now, just like there's a following, and people are like, no, 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 these are classics, classics of the
Yeah.
genre, and not and classic John Carpenter films as well.
The thing this is what it is for me, and I practice, I preach this a lot, and but not about movies, about life experiences and time frames and moments. I always say this. I'm like, when I was like fucking in my 20s, my early 20s, I felt like I was depressed. I felt like shit was, yeah, I didn't feel, I wanted something more than what I had. And you are what you are in your 20s, and I get that. And it's a different type of age. But I mean, at the time, I was like, man, throughout the 90s and shit, I look at that era. At the time, I was like, "Ah, this sucks, this sucks. I want something more." Now, and I said this about different eras of my life. When I look back at the 90s, I'm fucking nostalgic about it, and I think about all the good times I had and all the things, and we discuss them all the time. Remember this happened, right? And you talk,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Wow." And I listen to songs, right, from the 90s that I maybe don't even like because they'll take me back to working at the pizzeria with the people I was with and everything else. And it makes me feel good and think about being that age and things that were happening. At the time, you don't realize how good it is. But when you look back on it, you're like, shit, that was good. And this
Well,
happens in different times of life, even not just my 20s, even in my 30s. I look back and I'm like, man, at the time, I don't think I was the happiest person. I was cursing about this and that. I wasn't where I wanted to be about in this
yeah.
way, so it's like, but then when I look back at it, I'm like, "Man, it was actually pretty good. You've had a pretty good life." And I'm at the point now where I do say that, I've done pretty well in life. I'm pretty good. Even if I were to die tomorrow, I'm not afraid of death anymore because I feel, even though I'm young, feel young and everything, I feel like I've had a lot of fun. And I'm like, you know what? When it happens, it happens. But it's like, I know that's deep thoughts, but I'm putting it in perspective of movies. Okay. Now
Well,
look at it from the movie standpoint. Right now, and for the past maybe 10 years, something might have blown me away or this or that. I might think it's great, like these directors or these movies. And I'm like, at the time, you don't realize it. But when time goes on, you look back, you're like, oh shit, that actually is a classic. Like you said, that actually is this. But for whatever reason, I have to do something, and it's probably not just me, but I have to do something mentally where I can appreciate what's going on when it's going on, as opposed to remember when and how great it was. And I don't know what it is. And if it's just me, it can't be just me. But that's why I always say I can't put like The Witch in my top 5 horror movies. You know what? And it's this, but other people can. Other people can say
The
instant
Wish?
classic. Yeah, The Wish, The Witch.
Oh, The Witch. I like The
Yeah,
Wish. The
yeah,
fuck
The
movie is
Wish.
that? I've never heard of
You
it.
heard about that one? Yeah, it was a hidden gem from '79. I've never
Yeah.
spoken about it till now. The Wish. The Wish.
I'm like,
We should
"What
make a
the
movie
fuck?"
called The Wish.
Yeah,
That could
yeah.
be the title of the movie. The handheld fucking, wow, The Wish. Oh,
The
anyway.
Wish. I wish I never made it.
But anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I look at my top 10 and I have Flanagan and Astor and Wan in there. Holy shit. Maybe I can say that they're on the level of those other guys.
Well, we are then. We are saying that. I mean, they're there. So there's the answer in a roundabout way.
Yeah, right. Okay. Moving
Those
on.
are the ones. I mean, like, because ultimately they've gotta have some commercial success to be considered on that list. Like, there might be some ones that are building their career that we might not be talking about, you know, quite as much, but ultimately, the reason we talk about Carpenter's and Craven and Romero is, for the most part, they managed to satisfy horror fans, but also cross over to the mainstream. And maybe not at the time
Well,
because Carpenter had a lot of like Halloween was successful, but we already said the thing was commercially a flop. And then he had, varying degrees of success, as he went on. Craven, the same thing. You know, there were these critical hits and horror fan hits, and then other mainstream success that led to, the birth of Freddy and everything else. So,
and there's something else. And Dave
hey, Freddy.
Parker said this on the Top 200 show. He was talking about Romero and other directors and saying these guys were able to do something. And he goes, "Now, I don't know what the answer is, something along those lines, but they were able to make these movies where they made statements without it being overly preachy. And you can watch their movies at face value without even necessarily noticing the statements and things that are happening in the current time and the climate and everything else.
Yeah,
And he goes,
it wasn't shoved down your
and
throat, right?
how are they able to do it? And what makes it great that they did it so well? And nowadays, you don't see it that way. Like nobody ever talk. Anytime nowadays we talk about a message in a movie or the movie's this or
Yeah.
whatever term you want to say, it's always super obvious. It's very, very rare that we see a movie come out where it's things are more implied than, and it's like, again, I'll quote Brian Sammons when he said something once upon a time about Candyman. And he goes, there's a difference between, I can't even remember what he said, but something along, he goes,
Nice
it's
quote.
hammered in now. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It was such a
I'm
good quote.
yeah.
Oh, no, there was something about it now it's beat over your head with a sledgehammer, where in the past, it was something else I said. It was just something that was there. And what's the difference, you know?
He
"Hey,
wanted attention, but
fat
he hates when I pick him up. I thought he wanted to
fat
go
cat."
upstairs, but I thought he was meowing to get upstairs, but he doesn't want me to let him upstairs. I don't know what's going on with him.
Yeah, what is that? Who is it? What's his name?
Friday.
That is Friday. Okay,
Yeah. We
right
only have
on.
the one cat. 1 cat, 1 dog for now.
Okay. That's the way to go. One and one is fine. But yeah, he you say it's subtle as a sledgehammer. That's the way they do it now. And the thing, and like I said, Dave Parker said that he goes, what was it about? He goes, that's an I forgot what he said. He goes, that's a skill, that's an art form that those directors have, and there's no explanation for it. That it's part of what makes them so great. And nowadays you we don't really see that. And it's
Yeah.
odd, but
I
that's
think
another
it's because
level,
we've had
you
to
know.
I think things have just become a little bit more on the nose.
And it shouldn't
Not
be because
everything.
it's already on the tip of everyone's tongue. It shouldn't
Yeah.
be on. That's what I'm saying. In this climate that we're just talking about, Facebook and social media and everything, that's all anybody talks about. You would think that because people are so more in the know now than ever, supposedly, even though, well, I'll keep it to myself. Say people are supposedly more in the know now than ever on everything that's going on, right? That when you do make a piece of art, you don't have to shove it down a throat or freaking be subtle as a sledgehammer. You could just have it there and the message be It's almost like they're trying to outdo each other and say, "Oh, look at this," and then
Yeah.
again, maybe they're trying to alienate people, which again kind of goes against the whole principle of putting anything out into the world that's going to possibly make money. But then again, you get the other people say, well, it isn't about money for everything, Dave. So I understand there's an artistic part to it too, but you're still putting something out there. I would rather get paid and get my message out there,
And laid.
uh, more subtle, than overplay my hand to impress some other people and get paid less. But
Yeah.
that's me. I don't know. Whatever.
What was, question 2? Because there's a few questions here. I didn't
Right,
think we are
there
gonna be
is.
talking that long.
I see what we do. Okay. Have any of you ever experienced any real life horror? A close call with death or something spooky and unexplained? I've already
I think
said my stories about the
I think
ghost that was in my mother's house for
yeah,
a
and I
while.
told that story too, on the production shoot in Oshawa. I
Yeah, that
think it was
too.
Oshawa
Yeah.
that I brought up, and then the when I was on that commercial shoot. Uh, the only other thing that popped in my head that might have been different is, uh, when I was coming home from a gig when I lived in Toronto. I don't know why I would did I never do this, but a guy was hitchhiking, and I picked him up. I talked about the girl with she gives good puff. I've told this story on the show before too. This was downtown Toronto, and I happened to pick up some guy, like, I didn't mean to. I think he was holding up traffic, and he said, "Hey, can I
You
get a
never
ride?"
mean to.
No. Always goes back to Friday. And he hopped in, he's
Yep.
like, "Alright, can I get a ride?" He goes, "Just up the street there." I guess I was so freaked out, like I couldn't drive. It was a red light. And I think I said, "Yeah, no problem. Just up, I'm just going up the block," but then I'm taking off. And the guy wouldn't get out of the car. And it was the freakiest fucking thing for a
Oh,
split second. But
fuck.
I'm like, "Hey, I mean, I'm just going to go in and grab some dinner." He's like, "Oh, do you mind grabbing?" Like the guy, it was like beggars can't be. The guy just wanted, "Oh, can you grab me something?" With this fucking guy. I go, "What did I get
Wow.
myself? How did? Why me? How did I get myself into this situation?"
This is what
You
happens.
mentioned this about you. I feel like I'm the same way too. I go, no other person would have gotten themselves into this situation. I'm just driving up a fucking street,
Right.
and how did I get in this situation? I go, I'm fucking dead. I'm gonna be dead. And then we pull up, go in. I'm like, just 1 second, run back to my car, and I tear off.
Nice,
I'm
dude.
like, I'm not buying him shit. I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge. I just took off. But I go,
So
how did
he
that
got out of the
happen?
car?
Yeah, he came in because I'm like, I'm not keeping him in the car. We're gonna go grab something to eat. And then he goes, oh, can you grab me something too? Guy was obviously homeless, down on his luck,
Right.
whatever. I'm like, no problem. Let's get it. But I just took off. I'm like, I'm getting the fuck out of here
Awesome.
because I didn't know
You
if he would have
ran.
expected to get back in the car, eat dinner with me, and then go. And I'm like, I'm just getting the fuck out of here. And drove home. But that was
Did you
it.
give him food at least?
No, no,
Did
no,
you
no,
buy
no,
him the
no,
hot
no.
dog, set it down, and run out?
No, I didn't even
Okay.
get we were like, "Oh, what am I gonna have here? What am I gonna have? Oh, just give me a second here." Ran out and then took off. That was it. Before you guys probably, "What the fuck?"
Wow, man.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe he
crazy.
was
That
gonna
is
treat
that
me. I'll never know. That was year 2000. That's all I remember
wow. We'll
because it was when I
never
moved to
you never
TO. No, it
you
was some
never
whole
saw him
like, it
again.
was no, it was just some, like,
Yeah.
guy on the street.
Yeah, life is stranger
Just
than
that
shit. I tell you. Wow. I can tell you the story, but it's when I legit okay, twice. Okay, one time when I was young, see, my friend couldn't swim, right? But I was a swimmer. You know, what I mean, we had a pool in the backyard, the whole nine, whatever.
yeah,
He was my only friend that couldn't swim, and one of my best friends, and he was at the house all the time. But at the time, he didn't learn how to swim yet. So he is. I had this big, giant rubber snake, which I made the snake movies. You know what I'm talking about if you've
yeah.
seen it. How
Big
about that
rubber
though?
snake.
Did you watch that snake movie when I threw that snake in the water when I was a little kid and it made an S shape when it hit the fuck? That'll never happen. You could try that a million times. That will never
It's
happen.
true. I
Don't
know. You're
moments
like,
like that
"Yeah."
just make you like just think maybe this is a simulation that we're living, or so there's just things about life that just trip me the fuck out. But
In my
anyway,
snake movie.
I don't know. So I had that rubber snake. It was in the pool or whatever the hell. I was on a boat. He was on a boat like rafts, like the kids have the fucking. I think he was on a round one, like a fucking, a preserver type thing, but not
Yeah,
really a preserver, just a floaty thing. And then there
yeah.
was the.
Those tubes.
I was in a boat upside down, turned, and we were playing. So we were doing this thing, and we were hitting each other. The snake was going places, and we were grabbing it, and we were fucking hitting each other with it. We were just kids doing our thing. So now at one point, he was reaching out to try to get the snake. And we're in the deep end now. Okay. And he fucking falls off the boat and down he goes.
Yeah.
And I remember like it was yesterday because he went down and I'm not thinking. And then he came back up and then he went back down. And I said out loud, "Oh my God, I forgot you can't swim." And then I jumped in to fucking save him. And you know what they teach you? Don't just jump in to fucking save a drowning person because they'll
Yeah,
end
because
up
'cause they'll pull
drowning
you
you.
down with you. Yeah, yeah,
It's
exactly.
fucking true. Because I jumped in to save him, right?
And he's
And
like,
he was
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and dude, I couldn't reach anything else. The boats were on the other side of the fucking the shallow end by now. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but it was the only time in my life I was going trying to do it, and at one point, just for a half a second, I saw black. I fucking was about to die. And somehow not somehow. You move around, you do it. I was able to reach the edge of the fucking where the concrete is and get us secured and whatever. And we came out of it and lived.
And pull them
Funny
up.
part is my brother
Still,
Mike was sitting there watching us the whole time laughing because he's younger and he thinks we're just playing. He's not even thinking there's a drowning going.
why do I always think your brother's older than you? He's
He's
younger
like
than you?
7 years younger. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I thought he was 2 years older. Where the fuck did I get this from?
Well, I have an older half brother
Von
who's
Gan.
7 years older than me, who I used to work at the pizzeria with. That's another story. Maybe because I talked about that brother. But no, my brother Mike, no, no. He's like 7 years younger than me. So, but anyway, that happened and that was scary. So that was, I guess, near death. And then the other time, which really, the most scared I've ever been in my life. And granted, it's a story about drugs, but still, it was the feeling that I had at that moment. A friend of mine and me, we drove up to Allegheny, New York, or his family had a cabin there. His father was a hunter. I forgot what it was. But he and I decided that we were going to take acid and go out to this fucking to the woods and whatever the fuck. So we take acid and we go out there, and at one point, somehow, he climbs this tree and then he climbs back down or something. I can't even tell you what the setup was, but I can tell you this. I climbed this tree, which was kind of near this rock or like a cliff type thing, where if you climb, but the thing is this. I climb up the tree, and it's one of the, have you ever like seen something where you can go one way, but you can't go the other way because of the way it's set up and the dimensions and gravity and distance. I climbed up the tree, okay, because you're pulling yourself up. It's easy to pull yourself up. And then, okay, I'm tripping on acid, right? So, but I climb up the tree, and now it comes time. Okay, now we got to climb down the tree. And I got to the point where I took a few steps, and I'm off the ground higher than a house. I'm high
Yeah,
up. Now, I mean, I'm not ridiculously high, but I'm just gonna say it's like being
yeah.
on the roof of your house or something. So I'm up there. So now I get to the point that my foot below me is not gonna reach the branch that's below me, and it's not at an angle that's advantageous for me to be able to get to. And it hits me, and I am fucking terrified for my life because I think, I mean, I could have stayed there forever, but eventually you would fall. Your
Just
muscles
live
would give.
there.
You'd fall. You'd die. So, but I was still scared to death that fucking I cannot make it down this tree. Here I am, and I'm stuck, and there's fucking nothing I can do. And I was in this place. He had to talk me down and everything else, but it took fucking time. I don't know how long, but all I remember is that was probably the most scared I've been in my entire life. Was in those 5 minutes or whatever the hell when I was up there freaking right out, saying I'm in real trouble here. And that's what. And then how about this? After that ended, okay, I finally got down. Took a long time. We're driving, and his dumb ass forgot to put gas in the car, and we're on the highway, and we completely ran out of
Oh
gas
my
on
oh
the
my god,
fucking
Dave.
highway, tripping
Oh my
on acid.
god. I
Were
was
you the guy
just
that
about to
picked me
tell
up?
no, 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 no.
Okay,
I was
oh, that would
just
have been
about to
fun.
say, I just went on a trip and it never happened to me before, and it was gonna be a running out of gas story, and you just told me you and then you just as I was thinking it, as you were telling your story, you just ended up adding the part where you got in the car and then it ran out of gas. Isn't that the weirdest thing? Like, I was
Very
just
much.
about to say, I was, anyway,
Very.
my story's not nearly as entertaining. Literally, it was
Wow.
more me just not realizing I was tired, and I've never done this before, not realizing that I didn't have enough gas, and then I ended up in a dead spot where there's no this just happened a month and a half ago, by the way.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. This just
Wow,
happened.
dude.
I've never in my life ran out of gas or was ever and I'm like, I have 5 kilometers left on the car. And I'm like, and the closest gas station was 30 kilometers away. And I'm like, you gotta be
Oh,
fucking kidding me. I had to call CAA, which is like, I guess you're a AAA or
triple
whatever.
A.
And
Yeah,
then
right
I
on.
had to call them and thank God I had cell reception. It was totally fine. Middle of fucking nowhere. Took them an hour to get to me. Thank God it was just an hour because it was freezing cold. I'm like, if I what if I have to stay here all night? I'm gonna be free. I'm gonna freeze. And I could
Holy
start the
shit.
car for like 2 minutes, but I'm gonna run out of gas at some point. And thank God they came with, and it was like dirt cheap. They're like, you have to pay for the gas. I'm like, yeah. What's the damage? $16. I'm like, that's it. Oh yeah, okay. If you're cash, okay. No problem. I've got it. I think they thought I wasn't gonna have it, or if I didn't have cash, I'd only have a 20 or whatever, and I had 16 bucks. I was like, "Perfect. Here you go.
Wow, dude.
$16. Fill me up." They're like, "I'm not even sure this is gonna give you enough." I turned the car on, it's at 125 kilometers. I go, "I'll be
Oof.
fine. Thank you."
Okay.
But
That's crazy.
isn't that weird? Like, I was just
Yeah.
thinking, I'm like, it was scary, but I'm like, I've got I at least have my winter jacket and I've got my cell phone, I've got cell service, but I was just
Mhm.
worried if this goes all
Still.
night, I'm fucked. Like
Right.
like it's gonna be bad.
Oh, fuck. That's
Anyway, I didn't mean to
crazy.
I wasn't on acid, but I was coming back from work
No,
and I was like,
wow.
I can't believe I'm in this like it was a 4-hour drive and I was an hour in, but it was like it just happened to be that sweet spot of it was a half an hour back to a gas station or 20 minutes to a gas station. And I
Dude,
had ran out of
fuck
gas
that.
there, and I would have there would have been
Wow.
no chance I could have made it. So at least I stopped knowing that I had like a little bit left in the tank. And they said that's better because if it's bone dry, it could be a problem. It could lead to other things that they've got to do. Like sometimes putting gas in the tank is just not enough. You might have to prime it and whatever. And I'm like, what? I've never heard that in a car before, but I've never been in that situation before either.
Right, right, true, yeah. You could seize the motor, you could be fucked,
So
if it's bone dry. But that's oil.
bone
That's
dry.
not even necessarily
I don't
gas.
know.
Well,
Anyway, they
anyway.
told me that. I just said, fill the fucking car up, Rusty. I'm out of here. No, I was very appreciative, and then I got
I
the
bet.
hell on the road, hit the fucking next gas station, and made sure I overfilled that tank. I was shooting gas all over the car just in case.
Nice. Shooting it all over the place.
Then I
Oh,
took a lit
man.
cigarette and I flicked it, and the whole thing caught
And
on
nothing
fire. So fuck
nothing
that.
happened.
Fuck that. Just kidding.
Doesn't
That's a
work, kids.
callback. I don't know what episode that
Yep.
was, but it's a call. Anyway, I didn't mean to. I totally
Don't
hijacked
believe
your
it.
story. So you
Oh,
ran
it's
out of
nothing
gas,
now.
and
We ran out of
then
gas. Well, here's the worst part. This is the '90s, and there's not cell phones and any other shit. You know
yeah.
what I mean? So we had to wait around in this fucking desolate highway for someone to fucking finally stop the car and be able to pick us up and take us to a place to get fucking gas and go back and bring it back. Which, okay, that sucks, but add the element of tripping on acid and trying and being picked up by a stranger in his car and fucking trying not to let somebody know you're tripping on acid on top of it. What a fucked up day. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, that's
reminds me
bad.
of
At least it was summer though, right?
one time I was tripping on acid and I was at my friend's house and he was working and he took his acid, he dropped it an hour before it was time to get out. And we were all meeting at his house because his parents were gone. Okay, this is the '90s, early '90s. We're meeting at his parents were on vacation in Florida or something. So we're all gonna trip, and when you trip, you want to all dose at the same time. Stay on the same level of trip. So now we're hanging out at his house, me and like three of my friends, waiting for him to come home. It's his fucking parents' house. Okay. So something happens with him. He drops his acid at whatever, an hour before he's supposed to get out of work. Anyway, something happens at work where he ends up, I forgot what the story was, but he ends up being delayed fucking 2.5 hours. We don't know where the fuck he is. And I'm trying not to bug out. Where the fuck is Jimmy? I don't know what's going on here. So
Hey,
now we're running around the house. What's going on? We're downstairs. We play video games for a bit. We come back up. Where the fuck is he? Where is he? You know what I mean? What's going on here? Now we're bugging out because now we know he dropped acid too. Like whatever he's going through has got to be worse than us. But still, we're in his parents' house waiting for him to come home. No clue where he is. Now here's where it gets scary. Just for a second though, but it's funny. So now he has an older sister and a younger sister. Okay. Neither of them are there. Okay. So now all of a sudden, I'm upstairs. We're hanging out in the basement for the most part. He has the video games down there, the TV, whatever. We're doing it, whatever we're doing. And I come upstairs and I'm in his kitchen. And all of a sudden, as I'm tripping and bugging out already, the door opens up, the front door to his house. I'm thinking, oh, fuck, finally. And a fucking guy walks in, and I've never seen the guy in my life by himself. And I went, ah! I fucking ran down.
who
I
was
didn't
it?
know who the well. It ended up being his brother-in-law, but at the time he's dating his sister, so they're like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 5 years older than we are. Okay,
And you
I never
screamed
met him
and ran
before
away?
that day. I don't know if I screamed.
Was he with the sister then?
No, he was by himself.
Well,
Okay,
why was he just walking into the house if she wasn't there?
I was tripping. I don't remember. Maybe she was getting off work soon, and she said, "Meet him there, meet her
Yeah.
there." I don't know. Or maybe Jimmy told him we were gonna be there. And someone
Maybe he
saying
thought you were fucking his sister or something like that.
she was coming back. I don't know. He was supposed to be there, and here's the fucking anyway. I don't know what the deal is, but bottom line is he walked in the door swings open, and I'm already bugging out. And I see this man I've never seen in my life fucking at the door. And I don't know if I feel like I did. I was like, oh, or something like that.
And
Fucking
ran.
ran downstairs to my friends. I was probably like, I don't know, fucking 23 years old. I don't even know. All I know is It was scary for a second. It's a funny story. Okay,
It is a
let's
funny
move.
story. What's
Oh,
next? Yeah, number 3,
if you guys were on death row, what would be your last meal? That's
pussy.
easy for me. Pussy. Well,
Pussy.
I'll tell you what. I honestly,
Or roast beef, which if you look at Hustler magazine, it's one and the same.
a fucking line of the show. That's amazing. I mean, it can be. It can look a lot alike. Um, and I'm
Well,
okay
this is
with
an
that.
ad for Arby's. I thought this was Hustler.
Okay, if
Sorry.
it can't be pussy, if it's got to be food, it's real easy for me. Surf and turf. Give me the fucking filet mignon and a fucking lobster tail,
Yeah.
baked potato.
That
Boom. I'm
that's
fucking.
good. I like that. I was just gonna go for steak or prime rib, but no, surf and turf it. Give me some, yeah.
Oh,
I
awesome.
want a little
Okay,
bit of
great.
every I just don't want the lobster tail too. I want some prawns or shrimp or whatever. I want jumbo shrimp.
Oof. Well, I get a
Big
surf and
fuckers.
turf when I go to this place, Russell's, out here, and it's fucking phenomenal. And it's it's fillet. It's an 8 or 6 ounce fillet, fucking lobster tail, nice baked potato. It's fucking
Yeah.
tremendous. Some wine, you know. Oh man. Okay, so that good answers, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. So fuck, marry, not kill. Fuck, marry, keep as a pet. Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant. Now you know who these guys are, right?
I know 2 of the 3. I don't know who the Ultimate War I know the name Ultimate Warrior. I could not picture him in my
You want to
like,
see him?
visualize him right now.
That crazy
Yeah.
fucker. You know what? Okay, I'll put an Ultimate Warrior promo just
Why
so
not
you
the
can see
Iron
him at his.
Sheik? Why didn't he put the Iron Sheik in there or something like that instead?
Well, because the Ultimate Warrior is a little more of a fucking, you know, outlandish fucking person in many
Fucking what?
ways.
These wrestler fans. Jesus.
Oh, see, you put in interview and it does fucking. Hold on, I got to do promo. I'm not gonna interviews a modern thing, but before he passed away, I should say. So
Oh,
let's
he's
give you
already dead,
something.
so I'll
Okay,
kill
here's
him.
some Ultimate Warrior. Nope. Fucking ads. And BK, have it your way, folks. Okay.
I thought you were gonna do, I'm so sick of that
Im-
commercial already. That BK have it
imitated?
your way.
I don't see commercials unless I'm here. Okay, let's see here. I like the song. The World of the Warrior.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Him.
Uh, yeah, I'll keep him as a pet. No, I'm kidding. I would probably fuck Hogan, kill him, and keep Andre the Giant as a pet.
Okay, now let me look at this.
Fuck that guy.
No, no. You don't kill anybody. It's fuck, marry, keep as a pet.
Oh,
There's no killing involved. Instead of kill, you keep them as a pet. So either way, they're in your
but
life.
I don't really like that.
Well, that you don't really
Maybe
like it. Too bad.
okay. I'll, uh, I'll fuck him. I'll hate fuck him. Marry Hogan and keep Andre the Giant as a pet.
Okay, let's see
What
here.
a fucking bizarre question.
It's funny though. I don't think I could have the warrior around all the time. That's the problem. I think it'd be too much. I
It
just
looks
think it would be
annoying.
too much.
And yeah, with the
So
makeup, cost too much.
it'd be too much. He's too much of a distraction.
Yeah,
It's too much for me. So I guess I would just have to fuck him and be on my way. You
yeah.
know. So I'll
So
fuck
you're
the ultimate
with me.
warrior.
Hate fuck him.
Yeah. Now marry and keep as a pet. What's really the difference? You still got to live with both of them, right?
It
Well,
still
I guess
pays
you
in
got to
your
sleep
ass.
in the bed with one. Yeah, Andre'd be too tough to
Yeah, like
marry,
even
I
in a
think.
king bed, you'd be like, "What the fuck? Get out of here!" You're sleeping on the floor. That's why you keep him as a pet.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry Hogan,
Yeah.
and if he's
Hogan
a
and with the
yeah,
long blonde hair, you can maybe, if he's going down on you a little bit, you might be able to visualize that it's a woman with a bald
it's
spot.
possible. It's still Hulk Hogan. I could talk to Hulk Hogan fucking endlessly. I think seriously, I
Blow
would
me,
ask him
brother.
about so many things. And Andre the Giant, I could just throw him in the basement with the cats. There's enough room for him down
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
He can be a pet. You know what I mean? I
Shit
guess
on the
if he's
floor
a
like the
pet,
dog.
Can I keep him like I don't want to chain the guy, but I'm just saying I want to separate from the human from a pet. Not that I chain my animals because I don't, but I'm just
Here's your
saying
fish
if he's
heads,
a
Andre.
pet,
Yeah.
he's awfully big. How could he? He'd have to fucking stay in my basement laying down all the time. Yeah,
It'd
to
be
even
a
get
lot
him
to
in the
feed
house.
him. Maybe you could invite the Ultimate Warrior over, just feed him to Andre. Hey,
Nice.
Ultimate, we're gonna have another session here. Just meet me in the basement. Ah!
Hey, ultimate. Hey, ultimate. That's great. That's great. He actually goes by Warrior. Well, went by Warrior. He legally had his name changed to Warrior. How about that? That's another story.
Crazy.
Well, he's a wackadoo, but it's for intellectual property. So because that got owned by WWF, Ultimate
Yeah.
Warrior. So he's like, well, fuck you. If I'm going to go anywhere, I'm going to call myself Warrior, and you can't stop it if it's my legal name. So change his name to Warrior. Anyway, okay, moving on. Here we go. For $1 million,
Here it
would you
is.
have your penis temporarily grafted onto your chin for 1 year? After the year is over, the penis is reattached in its natural place and you get the cash.
Is it fully
Well,
operational? That was the one thing. If it's fully,
that's the
so I
thing.
I I thought about this. I thought about this. I wouldn't necessarily like it because it wouldn't be loud and proud. It'd be kinda like, "Uh-oh,
I don't give
everybody
a
can see
fuck.
that my dick on my fa." But anyway,
It's
for
gonna be
$1,000,000,
shriveled.
because I was worried, I'm like, I can't work." So you're off work,
No,
but I could
for a
stay
year.
home, do what I wanna do, tell my wife, "Hey, do you want the $1,000,000 or not? I gotta wear my cock on my face for." "Okay, let's do it. I'll have to get a new job, but that $1,000,000 would be nice." And then if as long as my dick's working afterwards, okay. I think I would do it. $1,000,000's not as much as it was, like, back in the day when we were talking about 1,000,000. Now 1,000,000's like,
No,
it's still good. It's still I don't necessarily wanna throw it away, so I could live, but
oh
I
yeah,
would have to quit my job. I'd quit my job, use the 1,000,000, and, be a little further ahead, I guess, at the end of the year, but I'd have to find a new job.
yeah. I would do the same thing. I would. Yeah, we would have to find a new job, but I would take the million. I would put all of it in the bank, except for I would keep like $80,000 around. I would
I
take
try to
80
live off the
G's.
interest.
I would live off the interest of the million. I'd keep it in the bank and pretend I never even got it. How's that? And just
Yeah.
whatever. It's just to have. And then I would take 80 G's. So okay, it's like I'm making 80 grand that year, like as if I was working. I made 80 grand. But when I'll just live off that for a year, the biggest problem will be finding a job after that's
Are
going to pay
are you
somewhat.
the dick chin guy? Yes, I am. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't leave the house because what? Who has to?
Yeah. Yeah,
Give
well,
me the
that's it.
fucking 80 G's. I'm going to stay the fuck home. I
No,
don't care
the
if there's a
100, the
dick on
1,000,000,
my chin or
and then
not.
that's exactly it. If it's a 1,000,000 American, I'm doing even better, so perfect.
Give me the million. That's fine. Yeah, that's easy.
I'm
I'll
good
take the
with that.
money. Boy, I wish he could make it happen, but the problem is you can't guarantee it because
Yeah.
it's gonna be functional again.
Well, I
Honestly,
just
though,
make sure you have a doctor,
okay,
and then by the time they have to put it back on, but like, add an inch or 2 to the mix, you know?
let me let me ask you this. I'm
Not to
gonna
the
take it a
balls.
step. I'm gonna
Sorry.
go a step further with it. I'm gonna make it into another game now. Check this out.
Uh-oh.
What if you can have it reattached, okay, and it worked like it did before as far as urination? There's no problem there at all, but it could not get hard anymore.
Oh,
You
no,
can't
then
focus.
no. No.
Well, hold on. Let me kick the number at you. For $5 million, would you do that?
No.
Five
No,
million
because
dollars.
so you're financially secure, but you're still missing out on one of whether,
No
because
more.
whether it's sex or whether it's masturbation, you still, like, so you got $5,000,000 in the bank, but you can't do that? I don't know.
I don't know. Is that worth it?
No.
No more orgasms. $5 million. So straight up, that's the proposition. $5 million or orgasms. What are you choosing the rest of your life? I'm taking the 5 million. As much as I enjoy orgasms, I can be just okay taking drugs. Seriously,
Yeah,
I
but
could
then
just
your
smoke a
wife
lot
has
of
to
weed
deal
or
with that too,
edibles.
so you just tell her to go fuck
I'll
other
eat her
guys?
pussy. I'll eat her pussy whenever she wants it. I could still do that, and I will do that. Right? I mean, so I'll eat her
That's your
pussy, and
last meal.
my wife is smart like me. She's a fucking hustler. She wants to have $5 million. I'm going to ask her. I'm gonna ask her the same I might even text it to her now and get the answer by the time we finish.
What
Or
the
it'll be a
fuck are you
cliffhanger,
guys talking about down there?
right?
I don't know.
But
I don't know,
anyway,
man. I don't know. I don't even know what the magic number would be for that, but I don't think 5,000,000 would be it.
I think it would be enough for
10,000,000,
me.
maybe. Yeah, maybe. But then never have an
So,
orgasm again? What?
there's a line in fucking Easy Money, and I think is supposed to get $10,000,000 if he doesn't. If he does, you've seen Easy Money, right? Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah, right, if you I just watched
Okay,
funny enough, I just watched Back to School, 2 nights ago, but
awesome. I watched Back
I
to
wanna
School like a month or two. Yeah,
yeah, I love that movie too, but
great.
I'll watch Easy Money I've been wanting to watch again.
Well, in Easy Money, I believe he says the line that's opposite of what you said. He looks out the window of his the back door and he sees his neighbor and she's a real hot girl in a bikini, whatever, talking to him. And he goes, "Oh," and he can't do anything about it, of course. He can't be, cheating on his wife or having sex with some random woman. So he's like, "Oh, she ain't worth $10,000,000." And then he goes, 5,000,000 maybe. He said, and I legit think you just said the opposite. It ain't worth $5,000,000, 10,000,000 maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's funny. You just did a Rodney, not even realizing.
Ugh,
5,000,000.
I won't get respect, but again, like, to never, like, how it's doable,
I'm okay,
but
buddy.
yeah.
I'll take it. At this point, how many years I got left? I'll take the fucking 5,000,000. I'll have edibles, and then at the end of the night, if I get horny, I'll take a fucking Xanax. I'm not gonna get horny that much all the time, but I'll just take a fucking Xanax, and it'll make me tired enough to put
Maybe I'll
on some
try to
fucking
teach myself
headphones,
to come soft,
and you could still do sexual
juggle
stuff.
my nuts. Yeah,
It'd be weird though. It'd be weird,
put a
but I
little
would
maybe
do
a
it.
little splint there, tie it up. I'll make
I
it
hate
work one
work
way or
so
the other.
much. I hate working so fucking much. Yeah,
I don't love it either,
seriously.
but
Well,
yeah,
think
I
about
don't
that.
know.
You don't have to work ever again. All you're giving up is fucking the orgasms. You don't have to work ever again and live
Yeah,
comfortably. I'm fucking taking it, man. I'm sorry. I'm happy with what I have. Give me money, give me fucking TV, movies, podcasts, so many fucking things. An orgasm is great, but let's face it, at our age, how many great sex years do we even have left? And I'm just saying.
yeah.
Now, if you
No,
proposition me at the age of 16, 18, maybe not.
and maybe I
Because
asked
I
my
want to
wife,
go
she'd
and
be like,
have,
if my wife would be like, "No, you're taking the fucking money." Like, yeah,
see?
trust me. Yeah,
Women are smart. They don't need
yeah.
sex the way we do as much. They just
Just
don't. And
put
they're
you do
they got better
yeah.
toys than we do
You do
too.
not have a $5,000,000 dick. That's what you'll probably say to me. So, like, yeah.
And okay,
So,
what if
I
she
guess I'll
had to
take the
fuck
money.
somebody else? What if she got the option?
A decent, proposal
Could you
style?
could you like come to an agreement with your wife that would be sexually satisfying for her? Like she said, okay, what if she said,
Oh,
I want to have
I was thinking
sex
of me the whole time.
once a month? Well, you got to your wife's your family. You got to think about
I'll do
them
what you
because she
said.
can't get
Yeah.
fucked. You just said you can't fuck your wife now. So what is she gonna do? So what number would work for you? Like if she said, "Okay, I want to still be able to have sex, so I
I
want to
don't like
fuck a
any of
man
these
once a month."
ideas. I
Well, then don't take the money. I'm just trying
yeah,
to see make it
yeah.
work. Can you negotiate with her? Can she say, "Hey, I want to fuck a guy once a month"? Would
No,
you
no.
be
If I take the money to do this, this is for us. She's gonna suffer just like I do. So that
okay? Would you let her?
it's what you said that I'm just going down there, which she should would probably be fine with, to be honest.
Could she have a
But
hall pass once a year? Once a
I
year.
don't know. Why would she
You
get a
don't
hall
have to know
pass?
who it is because she gets
Do
to
I get a
fuck.
hall pass then?
How can you can't have an orgasm? So what good is it
But
gonna do if you eat
I
somebody
can
else's
start I can
pussy?
yeah.
Okay, you can get a hall pass so you can eat another girl's pussy. Now I would take that in a heartbeat. I will eat out another woman. Honestly, she says I want to fuck one guy a month. I'd say okay, I'm
What are
going
we
to eat a pussy a
doing
month
here? Yeah, I
because
don't
then I
know.
can
I
eat a
don't
pussy
know.
a month of a different girl too if I wanted it to be. That'd be
It's the
great.
gift that
Of
keeps
course,
on
it's
giving.
hard to
Do
pull
we
off.
have that for like Christmas? Eat a pussy a month club. Do you get like a little stamp?
Pussy a month.
Oh, this is
Oh,
awesome. You give me the 12 pussies of Christmas.
holy fuck.
I don't
But
know
then
what the fuck.
a lot of work to do
I
though.
don't know,
It
man.
would be hard. You gotta still get the pussy. You gotta still find a woman that's willing to just have you eat her out and she don't get fucked and she's okay with it. So then there's that
It's a
challenge.
tall
But that
order.
will keep you busy, wouldn't it?
True. It's
Okay.
a lot of
You can still
work.
take her out to dinner. And you gotta take her out to a nice dinner.
Take her
Take
out
her
to
to
dinner.
steak. Yeah, well, think about this. You meet a new woman, you say, listen, this is the deal. I will take you out. We'll have surf and turf, and I want to eat your pussy when it's over. Do you agree to these terms? Good luck on that. Either way, you never know.
Holy
But
shit.
that's the end of the questions.
How about if I
We
just
should
have the
talk
turf? The surf will be later when I eat you out. And it, I, I, uh, I have
the
no
surf.
clue. I don't know where it ends. I'd have to I don't know, man. Because you're right. Like I guess, fuck. I don't know.
Give me the
You ta-
5 million. I'll figure it out. Because I still want to
I
go
don't
out
know.
for surf and turf anyway. So if I can tell the wife, you can fuck another guy, but I'm going to go out for surf and turf. I'm going to eat this girl's pussy. Are we okay? And she has to wear a condom, of course. Well, not she. He would have to wear a condom if he's messing with my wife,
I just,
obviously. I
I'm
don't got
just
to worry about
imagining.
condom.
I'm imagining if this is someone's first listen to the show. Like this is the first episode they've ever listened to. They're like, "What the fuck am I listening to?"
True. You're right. Oh, well, what can you do? Let's
Uh,
are we going to talk about what our plans are for the year? Or we got to talk about what you watched, huh? And then we can do our plans for the year and announce it.
yeah, but we're running a little long. But my
Right.
what to watch is
So,
I could do it next show. I actually don't care. It
I
was
can too.
literally just mine was just a revamp of the Nightmare series, which we could talk about next
Okay.
show. I'm fine with that. Let's talk about what we're proposing for the
What
year.
we are proposing for the year. Yeah, we have to have the year's gimmick. So, I don't know what we're going to call it.
The
Actually, we got
year's
to do
gimmick.
something now to see what's going on for next show. The spin, the choice, year of the gimmick. Either way,
Yeah,
what we've decided to do was what do we each come up with 15, right? Yeah,
yeah,
15.
roughly.
So there's 2 shows a month, well, 3 shows a month. The 3rd show is either gonna be a show or it's gonna be something decided on by the listeners. So, we'll figure that out. But 2 shows a month, we're gonna stick to a format, and the format's gonna be involving 2 movies, most likely, like usual. But we're going to go into it with a gimmick, with how do we explain this? We have different topics and different directors and things like that, and we're gonna either spin a wheel or do a number generator or something like that. And Christian came up with 15 things, and I came up with 15 things. And I actually we gotta find them. But oh yeah, here they are. So this is what I came up with. Okay, this is my list. I think it's 15. Okay, Stephen King, found footage, slashers, blind spots, werewolves, vampires, 80s poll losers that almost made it. Because remember when we did the polls for all those 80s, we
Yes,
had some movies
nice.
that missed out by like a vote. And so they almost
I like
made it.
that one
Well,
too.
now they're going to make it. Yeah, that'll be fun. Guilty pleasures, movies that just missed our top 100, second chances. So a movie that we feel we want to give a second chance to, or maybe I think C should give a second chance to, or vice versa. I don't know, but it's just a gimmick. True movies based on true events, hidden gems. So I was thinking more of like remember we talked about our 20 hidden gems.
Yeah,
Maybe we
like
could do
digging
that.
into
We
them.
could pick a
Yeah,
movie on our list, whatever. Jolly, some Jolly movies that we've never watched that we can talk about on the show that are supposed to be really good ones. Movies that I don't like that everyone else does, and I should say
the hidden.
movies that I do like that nobody else does.
Yeah.
Those are those topics. 15 topics that'll come up and draw. And C, you can
Yeah,
read yours if you want, if you
yeah,
have them.
mine I do have them, and mine was a little bit more not more specific as but in certain cases, because there's a lot of director, like, fill in the gaps. So, like, things that I feel like we've missed, we might have talked about the director or a large portion of their catalog, but may have left some out. Anyway, I'll just cut to the actual list. So Dario Argento, uh, Cat o' Nine Tails and Four Flies on Grey Velvet, Fulci, Don't Torture, and Cat in the Brain. Peter Jackson, Bad Taste and Dead Alive. Raimi, Drag Me to Hell and The Gift. Carpenter, I can't remember if we did Drag Me to Hell because I looked quickly. I know we've talked about the "You shamed me" and we used the sound bite.
Right.
I actually
Hmm.
don't remember if we did the movie though.
I don't think we did.
So,
We'll have to look into
no.
it though.
John Carpenter, The Ward and Ghosts of Mars. Ooh, that'll be an interesting show. Old versus New, The Body Snatchers. I thought like the 50s one, 78, and maybe even the one that came out in the 90s, even though there's been other variations of it. Just those three, I was thinking. Cronenberg,
Nice.
The Brood and Dead Ringers, because I don't think we did The Brood, but I would have to check on that
No,
one as well.
we didn't.
Old versus New, Dawn of the Dead, just original versus remake. Craven, Vampire in Brooklyn and Cursed.
Hmm.
Romero, The Crazies and The Dark Half, and Old versus New, Night of the Living Dead. I thought that would be another one. Be good. Three short films by Ari Aster. The Strange Thing
Right.
About the Johnsons, Bo, and there was another one. Munchausen is how I have it here, but it's mother, some mother one. It's interesting at least. Borderline horror. Like I mean, there are horror elements, but not necessarily straight laced horror. The
That'll be
silent
fun.
era, Nosferatu and the Phantom Carriage, or Nosferatu and the Phantom of the Opera. I just thought that'd be good. But then I also then put as a secondary one, old and new, the Phantom of the Operas. There's so many fucking versions of it. I thought silent one, 1940s, Herbert Lom, and then we could do the one with either Robert Englund, which I really enjoy from '89, or we could do Argentos.
Could
So
be
there's quite a
interesting.
few there. That was
Right.
my list.
Cool. So what we can do is we can assign them all a number or something, or just go by the order that we just said. At least for now. Maybe moving forward, it's a wheel or something like that. But for now, we can do like the random number generator, and just put 1 to 30. And the first 15 I mentioned are the first 15, and the second 15 are the ones that you just said. And just go 1 to 30. Oh, I gotta write
Let
that
me double
down.
check. I
Hold
gotta
on.
make sure I have 15 here.
Okay. I'm sure you do.
14. I had 14 for some reason. I'll come up with
Oh,
one
got
more.
another idea off the cuff or no?
Not off the cuff because you put me on the spot, but I mean,
That's okay.
I'm sure I'll think of one
How about
before.
Twilight Zone episodes or fucking things about, what do you call it?
Well, Twilight
What
Zone's
you
a blind spot for me,
anthology
to be honest.
shows.
So that like
Oh,
the
there you
reason
go.
the reason I yours is more vague, like not vague in a bad way, but you just put like found footage. Like there's so much we
And then
could
we'll figure it out.
do within
Right.
that. Like exactly.
Right.
Like you could whittle down found footage as a whole year. Not that anybody would be interested in it unless you're a found footage aficionado like Dave is, but that could be the gimmick for the year if you wanted to.
Well,
It's
it
that
could. I
vast.
was just thinking
Vampires.
of
Sorry.
I was just thinking of, I pick a movie, you pick a movie. A found
Yeah.
footage movie that we never reviewed. Something simple like that. That's why I came up
Cool.
with it in a snap. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, let's do this. But it doesn't have to be that. It could even be a topic for a show or whatever. But that's just the basis of it, and then we take it from there, keep it interesting. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you can't think of a 30th. That's okay.
I
It,
could do I mean, Polanski, The Tenant,
yeah.
because we didn't really actually talk about The Tenant on our show. We talked about it on, well, actually, I never talked about it. Everybody was blowing it on 22 Shots when we did that year that we
Mm,
guested on, and Repulsion, because we haven't done Repulsion. We've done Rosemary's Baby.
that's okay
So
too.
we could do Repulsion and The Tenant.
Okay. The other two from the apartment trilogy, if you will. Okay. So here we go. 1 in 30. Let's do it. Generate. What's it say? It says
Oh, I'm
16.
I'm oh, so that's my first one.
Yeah, it is. What's your
Argento,
first one?
Cat of Nine Tails and Four Flies.
Right back to Argento. Fucking great. Very good. We can take that. So there you have it. Next show. 2 of the Animal trilogies. Good, good. I
Yeah.
just watched one, like, a year ago, and Cat, I just got the 4K.
Yeah.
So,
I watched it when I first got the 4K, so I'll rewatch it now. I only got it, like, back in the fall,
nice,
summer,
nice.
fall, so, yeah, yeah, it was a good transfer, so looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Four
man,
Flies is the one
definitely.
Four Flies is the one that I believe I haven't seen. I kept thinking I was getting mixed up. Again, it was I think it's a blind spot, but when I watch it, I'll be able to finally because I feel like I haven't seen it. And I mentioned
Okay.
it, like, back when we first started the show, I was talking about Four Flies, but I believe I was mixing it up. I don't recall when I was looking at it, I'm like, "I don't think I've actually seen it." I think I was confusing it with Cat o' Nine Tails or something else, and I think it might be the earlier Argento horror that I haven't seen.
My problem is that yeah, I got it on DVD, 4 Flies. I'm pretty sure I got it on DVD and DVD only. I still don't have it on even Blue. It was always too expensive on Blue. And now, did it just come out on 4K or am I wrong?
Um, I believe they did, but through, like, not a big not through, like, Arrow or Synapse or Vinegar Syndrome. I think and it's very rare. It's got, that really it's very expensive.
Yeah,
So
that's last I
if you do
looked.
the Four Flies, it's like out of print, very expensive.
Yeah, you
The one
can't
that
find it here.
Severin Films is the one I'm thinking of. It's got
Severin?
it's got yeah, and, uh,
Yeah, can't even get it.
yeah, it's got a very
Tough to
cool
get.
cover, but it's
Yeah, with the
very, very difficult to find, you're not gonna find it at a good price, that's for sure.
right.
Click on that beautiful shopping thing that you put on, for whatever
Right?
reason. Yeah, 229 was the first one that I saw. And
Well,
there's a Shameless video, uh, Blu-ray, but I've heard mixed things about Shameless and their transfers.
they're just shameless. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's the right title. No, I don't know. 4
Anyway,
Flies, well,
okay,
like I said,
cool.
we'll do it.
There we
We'll
go.
we'll be on it. So, that'll be fun.
And
Listeners, let us know what you think, you
yeah,
know?
chime in, and we
Yeah.
will, maybe listen to your suggestions.
Ha! That's funny. That's funny. But,
Well,
yeah,
we're
we
back.
love you guys.
We're
Yeah, we're
back.
back. Glad to be
Do I
back.
get a
Next
gun
show,
this
we already
time?
know, you know?
What movie?
Yeah, see?
We're back. Do I get a gun this time?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Do I get a gun this time? Wait a minute. Gun this time. It couldn't be. I was gonna say Ghostbusters, but there's no guns in Ghostbusters. Hold on. Do I get a gun this time? I feel like I know it too. Is this
You
something
know
I
it.
know?
You
Yeah.
I mean, you're not an action it's an action movie, but I think it's an action movie you would have seen. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think you would have seen it. It's a series. Maybe that's giving too much of a hint.
No, I don't know. I may not have
Lethal
seen it.
Weapon 3.
I have not seen them.
Wow, because it's Joe Pesci, because he's
I didn't.
reprising Leo Getz,
I didn't
and
even know Joe Pesci was in it until like years later.
well, he starts in part 2, and because he was such a big success, I think he got an Academy Award nomination for Leo Getz from that one. They brought him back for 3 and 4.
Did I watch the original last year? I may have watched the original last year and saying I was surprised at
The
how
first 2 are
how
great,
it
and I
was
just
less
watched
comedy than I thought or something. That could have been something else
well,
though.
because it's written by
Yeah, I
it's written
logged it,
by
4 stars. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, it was less comical than I thought. That's what I remember was like I was
Shane
thinking it was
Black
gonna
is
be
the writer, and a lot if you actually, like, look at a lot of the stuff he's done, he writes some good banter, like, he's got some good stuff going for him. There's some things that other people he wrote the newest Predator, The Predator, not the newest one, not the Prey, but he did The Predator. A lot of people didn't like that one, but,
I didn't even
um,
see it.
anyway. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. 4
Yeah.
Flight gives me another reason to watch, Cat o' Nine Tails again and, to check out Four Flies and because when I look at that cover from Severin Films and when I looked at any other images, I'm like, "I don't think I've seen this movie."
Oh, wow.
I just I am automatically assumed I did because I believed I saw all of Argento's early works.
Mhm.
And then when I started research, I'm like, nope. I feel like now that I've dug deeper, I think I confused it or blended 2 together.
Interesting. Well, I'm gonna
So,
be on the
we'll
hunt and
see.
see if I can find a cheap Blu somewhere. Either way, I think I got like I said, I think I'm got the DVD still. So that's something. But so
Awesome.
that's it. So next show. So thank you guys. It's great to be back. And yeah, we love you
Yeah,
guys. So all right.
long time.
So all right. Long time. And I guess we'll be out of here. So Manchichi Manchichi. Peace.